I keep hitting the wrong button, man.
This is like 2 weeks in a row, right?
So I changed the layout on the Stream Decks. I need the big Stream Deck. So instead of having like 3 medium-sized Stream Decks, I need one big one because I'm getting lost with, even though they're animated lit up keys, I'm still getting lost as to which one's which.
How you doing for a Thursday? I haven't seen you much this week.
I know I was editing for a couple days straight. Anyways, hey, everybody out there, my name is Brian, that is Shane, this is the Popcast, and I almost forgot for a minute what we were doing. So hello. If you guys don't know,
it's our weekly show.
It's our weekly show. We just put out a video that took an insane amount of time to create hour-wise, and we all crammed it into as short as period of time as possible. So the panel that came out on Saturday, like the Picard panel came out on Saturday. Shane and I were there, not there, but we watched it live. And right afterwards, we're like, okay, we have a video to make. This is just too good not to make, right?
Yeah, it pushed aside our Quantum Leap video we were doing.
Yeah, it puts everything aside. It puts sleep aside, eating aside,
right,
family. And Shane started writing, and I started creating. And like we were like, for the first time in a long time, we were actually producing sort of side by side. And so instead of me waiting for his work, I was actually doing work ahead of time. Like the thumbnail alone took like 6 hours. Like those people don't exist. That had to be made. Like they had to be created from nothing.
Let's show it real quick. You got access to it?
Yeah.
If you guys haven't had a chance to go see it yet, it is everything you need to know about Star Trek Picard Season 3. Last weekend was, and we're going to talk about it today, some of the news stories, but last weekend was New York Comic-Con 2022. And of course we had the Star Trek Picard panel come out, and it was just like boom, 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 like mind-blowing, huge reveals. And so we decided to come up with this video. Video came out yesterday, and it's doing really good. So if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out, because I mean, we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff today, but it's definitely better produced over there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And this is how many Red Bulls that it required for me to produce that video.
No, there's more than that. That's only half.
Yeah, these are the ones that I decided to stack. There's a trash can full of them too.
Yeah, we got a lot more.
I knocked out like a 24-pack of Red Bull. That's not.
Yeah. So let's see. We got everybody here. Greetings to everybody. We've got Jeremy in the house. Never received any notification again. So I wonder, they're just not getting notifications. We'll have to figure out what's going on there.
Yeah. So I'm trying to fix that. There's a trick you can use where you start your stream at one time, and then literally like right before it's supposed to start, like a few seconds, you push the stream 15 minutes, like one segment. Right. And then that sort of like jump starts the system to send out notifications. But I don't know if it worked.
Okay. Anthony Mark, hey everyone, it's pouring in New York City. You guys are my sunshine today. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate that. It is, of course, California, sunshiny all the time. Chris wants to know, Andor House of the Dragon got pushed. So our members, we need to apologize to you. This week's, you know what they say, an emergency on a lack of preparation on your part does not become an emergency on my part. When I was in the Navy, that was something we used all the time. Look, you didn't prepare, buddy. I'm not taking your problems are not mine. So we apologize to you guys, because this video took over the entire week and everything we've been doing. So we haven't done our member shows typically as we do.
Right.
Now we did some, right?
We did Quantum Leap. That's it.
We did Quantum Leap yesterday for the members. Now, after this is over, we're going to stick around because we are men of our words. We're going to do House of the Dragon just for the members at the end of this one today. Yeah. So if you're not a member, you might want to try, come be a member so you can hear what we have to say. We have a lot to talk about. We are going to do Andor again. So we said we're quit. We're done with Andor. Woo! It was going nowhere. But episode 6 was awesome. So we're going to be back on Andor now.
It's not embarrassing at all. We're like, listen, we're done with Andor. It sucks and it's too slow, and we're gonna stop doing it. And literally like 4 days after that clip came out, it's like, yeah, so we're gonna be doing Andor again. So
yeah. So, and now, granted, watch episodes 7 and 8 will be slow or something. It seems like every third episode is exciting. So maybe what we'll do is do 3 together. I don't know what we'll do, but we're definitely going to do Andor on Friday, and we'll do Rings of Power on Friday. So we got those 2 members only start.
Yeah. So the way it works, in case you're new to the system, so we do. She-Hulk minute. You're always distracting me, Archmage. We do all our live reviews the morning basically after they come out in the members section. So House of the Dragon, Quantum Leap, Andor, Rings of Power. Ugh. Never not looking forward to that. And then other stuff coming up like Willow, other Star Wars shows, of course Star Trek. When Star Trek comes back, we're going to be doing. I mean, I guess it's technically here because there's Lower Decks, but we're not going to review the animated stuff. But when the regular Star Trek comes back, we'll be doing that the same way. So we review it in the members section live, and we don't there's no production. We literally just turn it on and start talking. And so that's the easiest way for us. And then we take that clip and we record that. Then we produce that a little bit and throw it up on the channel so that everyone can see it. But the members do get it first. Sometimes a couple days ahead of time. Sometimes a week ahead of time.
It can happen. Members get a lot of stuff really early. So check that out. It's not very much. There's a link below. Honestly, guys, it's like $2.99 for a month to get stuff. So it's a lot for some people, but
we make 70 cents.
No, we make $1.70, I think.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
It's not about that. I mean, we enjoy it. So
yeah, I mean, listen, Anima, I like Lower Decks. I do. I actually like it. But I don't like it because it's Star Trek. I like it I like it for itself. I like it the same way I like, and I'm not trying to compare it to Rick and Morty, but it has a similar animation style. There's some jokes in it. I like it for that. I like it the same way I like Solar Opposites or, Demon Child or a lot of these animated shows that are adult friendly. I'm personally not going to consider anything on Lower Decks canonical. I won't be referencing it. We won't use it in Prime videos because I think that animation is sort of cheating when it comes to what you can do in canon. So.
Yeah, that's really the answer is you can do so many things that you can't do live action. It's just, I don't think it's fair. Lower Decks is fantastic. We're just not going to cover it like that. So yeah, but there's tons of people out there doing it. So come back to us for all the live action Star Trek.
Hey, what's the green? Tell me in the chat what the green girl's name is, because somehow I think I'm just attracted to green chicks because I'm also attracted to the cartoon character. That's strange. So. Except for Hulk, she's a little too butch for my taste. Let's be real. She's also hot. So.
We are going to talk about the Hulk 1 minute.
Yes, the Hulk minute.
Yes.
Hey, the finale happened. I don't know how we started covering She-Hulk or why we continued. I still don't know what happened. It felt like maybe it's such a small commitment that we were just whatever. But
well, I think there was this idea that they had really messed up a lot of stuff in the beginning. Like the graphics were really poor.
Oh yeah.
They were attacking dudes. I mean, that seemed to never stop, but so we said, we'll cover it, see what happens. And it was so short. If it had been 45-minute episodes, I think we would have gave up.
Right. I think so too. Yeah. The name of the character is the green chick in Lower Decks is called Tendi. And she's great. Not just because she's green, because I think she's actually a cool character. Tendi tastes good with honey mustard. All right. So what else are we talking about today? Shane?
Well, we got to say hello to everybody, so that's good. I think you have a video you want to share with everybody, right? Oh, you want to go through the list? Let's go through the list.
Yeah.
We've got...
no, I don't. I don't want to do that. Okay, go ahead.
I'm so confused right now.
I said, what else are we talking about?
The video of the week coming up, which I think it's got The Rock in it, so you're going to enjoy that. We've got Star Trek Picard Season 3 panel, which we're going to kind of go through the panel. Rant of the week. We're going to talk about the fact that very interesting that that Alex Jones is going to pay $1 billion. I'm like, it's the first time I've ever seen the word billion in a payout. So We'll talk more about that.
They're making a mistake. They're making Alex Jones a martyr. You shouldn't do that. It's so stupid.
Quantum Leap gets a 6-episode extension, and that means so many good things.
Means so much good things. I'm so stoked on that news.
The Weekly Terry. Oh, we got some Weekly Terry coming.
Oh, Weekly Terry.
I'm going to ask you guys to stop fighting with Terry Metalis out there on Twitter, but we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, stop fighting with Terry Metalis.
Stop it. Knock it off.
Anytime someone talks about Terry Metalis like he's like he offended them, I'm confused. It's Terry Metalis.
Guys, Terry's one of us.
Nicest person I've talked to so far in reference to Star Trek. So
it's possible he might be our brother, to be honest with you.
He might be related to us, and we just don't know. Our dad got around.
Yeah, he did. He did. Kind of looks like him. It's weird.
Kind of does.
But did you notice that? I'm like, oh, how old are you, Terry? Okay. So we'll talk more about that. We've got lore in Star Trek Picard season 3. Oh yeah, we'll be talking about that. We got the She-Hulk.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Lore? Before lore?
Well, before lore.
Wait, not before. Before lore.
Before lore. There was before.
So the data's out here.
The data is available.
It is before lore.
It is before lore.
According to our data it is before lore.
Yeah, that is the data.
Before lore.
He's like a series of terrible dad jokes, and we will show it to you very soon in this show. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't.
It's going to make a whole lot of sense really soon.
We talked to our insider about it too, and woo!
Oh, that was fun. We're going to do the She-Hulk finale review. Very creative. And Amanda Plummer is Vadec in Picard season 3.
Vadec.
Shocking news. In the member section, we're going to talk about The Rock laying out his DC plans. If you are excited about DC's future, you aren't going to want to miss that story. That's going to be huge. He's building DC from the ground up right now. We're going to talk about, I know, right? We're going to talk about Moriarty in the member section in Star Trek Picard season 3. That was a shocker.
Greetings, old friends.
Nice. And we're going to be talking about the Enterprise F, which there was a little sneaky clip in the Star Trek Picard season 3 trailer. Did you know it was designed by a fan? All in the member section today. So when we get done with the live show, come on over with us to the members and we'll talk more about it.
Yes. And the link should be in the description. Also, you can go there by going to popcast.co/join. We couldn't afford the M, so we got .co. Or just the main channel. So you guys should know the link. But yeah, man. Yeah. All right, man. Yeah, so I did sleep. I slept last night, which is actually why this show was pushed a little bit. I woke up at I don't know when. Shane, I woke up and I was like, "Hey, I'm on the computer," and you're like, "Oh, he's alive. Okay, cool."
Yeah, you've been kind of like. You can tell you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain lately.
Right.
Every time I call, he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's there."
I started adopting the persona of the MILF Stifler's mom from American Pie. Like, hey, you guys!
I don't know why you would pick her.
I don't know why either. I think I watched her on. So I was watching the Roku channel and Two Broke Girls, and she's on Two Broke Girls, and I thought she was hilarious.
Nice.
By the way, Roku channel, extreme value. If you guys want free stuff, it's a free streaming service with ads, but shh, don't tell anybody. Ad blockers work. They haven't fixed it. So it's just free high definition television.
Finally, someone who's not charging you for streaming.
You don't even have to register. You don't even have to make an account. It's
genius. It's genius.
Yeah.
Roku is going to get so many people on board with Roku just because of this. Yeah,
I agree.
These Japanese named companies, though, they got to stop naming themselves Japanese names
right.
in America. You need to change it to cool streaming or something. Just something different.
Roku works because it's 4 characters, but you know what didn't work was Rakuten.
Rakuten. Yeah, Rakuten, whatever it is.
Yeah. Guys, think about this. Imagine this. Imagine you owned the website buy.com.
Sorry. Yeah, that's right. I
Yeah.
forgot of this story.
Imagine this. So imagine you own a website called Buy, like to buy things,
Like buy something.
buy.com.
Yeah.
And the website was mismanaged and you probably didn't sell a lot of stuff, but even just having the domain name buy.com was enough to get boomers to buy crap from your website. So you get to the point where you're big enough where people want to buy you. And a company comes along from Japan called Rakuten, because that means like hope or love or something. Happiness or something.
Yeah.
And they're a big shopping company in Japan. Yeah. And they're like, well, we're going to buy an American website, so we can start moving our services west. And
they were like the Amazon of Japan, kind of.
Right.
Before Amazon was huge, yeah.
So they find buy.com and they buy it. Great. So far, good. They bought buy.com for an insane amount of money. But then they went and changed the name of buy.com to Rakuten.
I know.
Why would you even buy buy.com in the first place then?
Because it's pride. They wanted to, I don't know. Well, if you do type in buy.com, it does redirect you to Rakuten. Right. So I guess that was the idea, but it's like, just leave it buy.com and let them. Yeah.
Yeah. You should have just been buy.com. And then
in America, that would have been better.
Yeah.
So Rakuten never took off, guys. Have you guys ever bought anything from Rakuten? I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure we're not even pronouncing the name correctly. And we know this intimately because they contacted us. We actually worked with them trying to sell things through their website, but it's impossible. Like it's not made for us. It's not made for Western sellers. It's just not.
All right.
Yeah, Weird Al movies on your Roku. I'm telling you guys, Roku. I've been watching every season of Two Broke Girls. I haven't even signed in. I'm confused as to how this is remotely profitable to them.
Advertising.
What advertising? My ad blocker is stopping it all.
Well, they haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
They will.
Okay, so we are going to show... remember, we added a segment last week. So we had 3 weekly segments, right? We had the Weekly Terry, Superman Watch 2022.
Oh, that's right.
And then Rant of the Week. And now we have Video of the Week.
Nice. Do I got to do an intro for that one?
Yeah, but not this time. We'll have to make a stinger.
Okay. Next time.
The thing is, I found I have several hard drives here. If one day I'll show you guys, I have on the wall, I have all my hard drives are mounted to like these shock absorbers on my wall. It looks very Star Trek, but the purpose of that was to back up and for them not to be vibrating, right? So I lost a bunch of folders for a long time, and I went to go recover one of my drives, and I found a folder called Funny Videos. And it just has like thousands of videos that over years I've downloaded. And we're gonna be mining that treasure trove for hilarious comedy.
Yeah, we would be reviewing Bros today, Archmage, but we didn't watch it. So
yeah. We decided,
I think it's our fault.
We haven't gotten around to watching Bros yet.
I think it's our fault that the movie failed because we didn't go see it.
Clearly. It is clearly our fault, Shane.
See last week's episode for more information on that.
If we had, I think it's the Rant of the Week.
It was last week's Rant of the Week,
yeah. Yeah, if we had seen Bros, it would have made a ton of money. But because of our lack of support for Bros, it didn't work out. And we feel bad about that. Being white guys. I'm sorry, straight guys. My bad.
It's confusing because both are equally really bad today.
Right, they're both
it's bad. Like bad to be either of those things, and we're like both, and it's scary. Like sometimes I walk around in fear.
Okay, this is a video of the week, and I'm not going to start it just yet. I got to put our overlay over it real quick. I made an overlay that I think is going to stop the copyright claims.
Yeah, because this was originally on SNL, right?
Yeah. So this is highly claimable, but it's so funny that I feel the need to show it to you guys.
I just don't care. I'm going to do it anyways.
All right.
Oh, great. Now we get bombed for SNL and COVID all at the same time. Great job.
This is the overlay I made. It has so many moving parts that I think that the video system isn't going to be able to pick up the individual. Like I made a grid and everything.
Anima says it best here. Shame on you, Brian. Shame on you.
Shame. The shame.
For shame.
Okay, here we go.
It works.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
He's like, my bones hurt. My heart is cold.
Heart is cold.
Hail Satan.
Yeah, there's some good SNL clips.
Oh, heads up. We've detected copyrighted audio. I knew it.
It wasn't good enough. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, they get me every
You
time.
needed like more little floaties over the top or something. What happened to the snow? That worked.
No, it didn't work that well, though. I think it might be the audio, too.
Oh, well, are we still on? That's what matters. Are we still live?
We should still be on.
All right. You see what we do, guys. To make you laugh, we take it all the way to the edge of the limit.
It's so funny. Hail Satan. He said, when I wear gray sweatpants, people cross the street. Oh my God. I'm telling you.
Oh, the audio. That's a good point. Danny says the audio.
Oh, it's the audio?
Yeah.
It wasn't all blocked, though, right? You guys saw that whole thing? Right?
Yeah.
The clip was longer and funnier than the entire season of the She-Hulk.
Fair. Very fair.
Okay, everyone's still on.
Good. All right, we're still here. That was fun. I guess we have to pick videos that haven't been on like TV shows.
No, I just need to do more.
I don't know.
At some point, their faces are going to be blurred. The audio is going to sound like a chickmunk.
You can't even see. Yeah. Literally nobody cared about Mark Twain from last week.
Oh, Mark Twain was so funny too.
Yeah.
No one cared because I'm pretty sure that guy's on meth. He's on meth under a bridge.
Are you not entertained?
I'm sorry. That video is so funny. Like that might be like, so SNL used to be this comedic institute. They used to be the best at making comedy, or one of the best. And then they just fell off a cliff, man. But this, before they fell off a cliff, man, some of the best clips out there are from SNL.
Huh.
You know, we looked. I even posted that video to Reddit and asked for more information. Like, where can I find this amazing rapper?
Oh, you did? You like
Mark
tried to find
Twain?
him? Like you're hiring like private eyes to go find him?
So Reddit and 4chan are like, they're basically a bunch of autists that just sit in their mom's basement and look for people online. So that's where you want to go when you're trying to find someone. And I got like 800 upvotes, and people all wanted to find them, but I've gotten no date on it yet.
Oh. All right. What do we got going on here? Speaking of Mark Twain, he was a classic TNG character. You're right. That was the episode with Guinan.
Yes. Time Zero, right?
No, Time Zero, or was it was the one with Data, right? Data's head?
Yeah, I think it's Time Zero.
Time Zero, that's right.
Yeah. I know I've pulled a lot of clips from that in the past.
Yes, thank you, Picard season 2.
Okay. So when I laugh, my throat gets even more closed up. I was laughing so much. All right, man. So we're going to be talking about the panel and the video. So let's line this up. Do you want to play the panel? Oh, speaking of which, the panel was on this channel, the Unleashed channel, and I guess we put it up before they did because it got a ridiculous amount of views. And it was great, though. A lot of the comments on that were just outstanding. People really responded well to the panel, and it's possible because the cast had like this chemistry that you can tell, like they just finished a project that they all enjoyed.
Yes, you can tell. Like these are old people, and they are totally energized for this. And you got to remember, there's not a lot of panels where they are all together on a panel. You know, even the Comic-Con San Diego was just Patrick Stewart and Gates McFadden. Star Trek Day was just, I think, Gates McFadden. So I mean, the whole crew has not been together, and they were just rip roaring, man.
Yeah, they were.
Marina Sirtis was something else. I mean, just on another level. I don't know if you guys saw it or not.
Can you explain to anyone, people here that don't understand like older colloquialisms, what does piss and vinegar mean?
Oh, well, well, see, the problem is it's different in different countries. So when somebody is pissed in over in Europe, I believe it might mean like drunk, right? But over here, if you say somebody's full of piss and vinegar, it means they're ornery. So yeah, we had a comment on the video saying kind of upset that we said that she was full of piss and vinegar. But what that means is basically she was just being ornery, and she was being extraordinarily ornery with everybody, you know, especially Patrick Stewart. So
right, and she also may have been pissed in the British sense.
It's possible she might have had a little bit to drink before. Yes.
Yeah.
She was in full. Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about the panel. We're going to be talking about the panel in detail here, or as much detail as we can. And we're going to be talking about some of the video stuff that we made afterwards, and a couple of the good, really fun moments from the panel that came up. Not all of them involving Marina Sirtis, but some of the stuff involving Lore and I'm sorry, not Lore. Brent Spiner. I don't even know anymore. The guy is the same person.
Same guy. Yeah.
Frakes, and of course our Terry Metellus. So, here is the panel. And let me take off the overlay.
And I actually have wow. I actually have a lot of notes on this since I basically typed verbatim everything that happened. So we can go through it. I did. Yeah.
You know, I could have given you a transcript, right?
I didn't want to pay the $3 or whatever it was for.
Oh, no, actually, when a video gets over 10,000 views, an automatic transcript is generated in the back end of our website.
Well, that's good to know for the future.
Yeah.
Could have saved myself an hour.
Yeah. So when this panel had that many views, I could have given you a transcript. It wouldn't have cost anything.
All right, thanks.
All right, so this is it's actually funny. I don't know this guy's name, the host, but I find it funny that like every single one of these panel videos has him doing this. It starts off with this. Just him just like furiously scratching his head at the start of the panel. Talk about a poor choice. Like I think he should have waited to scratch his head until his camera wasn't trained directly on his face.
Yeah, it's funny. He didn't think he was being filmed 100%. But the people that actually filmed this were Popverse, I think, right?
Right, which people thought that it was us, by the way. And I can understand the confusion. We're the Popcast. They're the Popverse. And at some point, one of us is going to get so big, we're going to buy the other. So,
okay, fair enough. We're coming for you, Popverse.
We're coming for you guys.
So this guy's making the introductions, right?
Mm-hmm. Give it up for Brent Spiner.
And everybody comes out.
McFadden, and the myth, the legend.
There they are, all hugging. Look at Marina over there. She's like,
Patrick Stewart.
yeah, I don't know what to do.
Full of piss and vinegar. You blokes.
Now, earlier in the previous panel, Patrick Stewart was holding the mic upside down. So yeah, go ahead.
Right. I'm sorry. No, you go ahead. I was about to laugh. But.
Yeah, so it was a previous one. I think it was Entertainment Weekly or Entertainment Tonight or something, and they were doing a panel with them all together. And Patrick Stewart's like talking into the microphone with it upside down, and then Marina just reaches over and goes, and like flips it around, like this is something she's like always dealing with, right? Which is kind of funny. And then Frakes like drops the F-bomb.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Cow. What's going on here?
That previous interview was more raw for sure.
Yeah.
But less information.
This is a moment. Talk to me about getting together finally. This has been thought about,
So you playing the
wondered
audio
about
too?
by fans for years.
Yeah.
When we've
Okay,
seen
I can
bits
do
and
that.
pieces
I'm
of
raising it
cast
up
members get
higher and lower
together.
as they say
But
something
to have
important.
you all
Or
together,
as you're talking.
what's it like to,
Yeah, I
to be
don't,
part of Star Trek Picard now?
Yeah, I can't hear it, so I don't know
Exciting,
what's
bizarre,
happening. But
We gotta
I
fix
know he's
that.
doing the introductions, right?
Remind me to fix that with you guys.
Yeah.
Joy, fun.
Okay, so this is when he's asking all the cast members, and I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time talking today. He's asking all the cast members how it felt doing this season. And Marina speaks up first, and she says, joy and fun.
Oh, yeah, he wants a word to describe how they feel about the season. I always hate this. I hate this exercise so much. Like, sentences were created, giving a word to describe it really gives nothing to it. You know, what are you going to say? Sad and depressed.
I'm going to go with surreal.
It's dumb.
Right. It is dumb. No, one word feelings doesn't work. Especially when there's like 18 people there. Like, one person's going to say happy. The next person's going to be like, he took mine.
Well, Frakes even said something like, I'm going to go with like surreal. Actually, he's the one who said surreal and bizarre. Right. Yeah. Well, he's been directing for so long. It's like, it's weird for him to act.
There we go. That's what I wanted.
Marina Service said hell. It was hell.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, she is either tired of doing these panels, drunk, or mad, or a small combination of all those things. Because
I don't think she's mad.
I've seen her in other interviews and stuff, and she's not this flamboyant.
I think she had a couple glasses of wine. That's got to be what it is, because she's just really loose with all of her comments.
Right.
She's talking like she's at a little dinner party with just these guys.
Right.
Kind of. Yeah.
Right. She's talking like they're just having dinner at the Baldy's house.
Right.
Like,
oh, the rest of you are here. Oh, very nice.
Yeah, she did call him Baldy. She's like, I know you all like Baldy, but I don't, okay?
Swimming in a rainbow with thousands of...
All right.
It's actually a pretty long video, so we'll just have to...
Yeah, we're going to go through it. But, okay, so this is hilarious because Brent Spiner's take for the whiz... He was asked to describe it in one word. He said, swimming in a rainbow with thousands of naked cherubs.
That's right. That was good. Yeah. That was actually pretty funny. You never know what Spiner's going to say, man. He is an old man who has no governor whatsoever.
Yeah, zero. Yeah, he has zero governor. Yeah.
Old people are fun to listen to.
So speaking of which, the man, the myth himself, Patrick Stewart, basically said it was like
Patrick,
coming home.
Since
coming
we
home,
are celebrating,
and he's coming home.
Stop it. Stop with the Patrick Stewart stuff.
I'm telling you, I have become so good at doing Patrick Stewart impressions because I finally figured out his vocal pattern. And his vocal pattern is either he is thinking about every word and syllable in what he is saying, or he is out of breath. It's one of the two.
Yeah, you've almost got him and Obama have a lot in common. I can hear it in your voice.
Oh no! So I do such a good Obama impression that sometimes when I do other impressions, he starts to bleed through.
He gets in there. Yeah.
We're gonna fix the reception. I can't stop doing it. It's like when I was younger and I was in acting class, and they were like, "Okay, so you're gonna play a Latino, and you're gonna be playing an Arab." And I'm like, "Great! Now that you said Arab, that's all I can think of. I can't think of any other accent." All right. The rest of this.
So I wasn't sure, but
You want to get the highlights here?
It's just kind of like, okay, so they go on to ask a bunch of questions. Essentially, there's not a whole lot here in the beginning. Oh, we've already passed the trailer, it looks like. Yes. So Terry's going to come in and kind of describe, and that's Terry Metalis if you guys haven't seen him.
Shane, the Terry Metalis.
The Terry Metalis.
Come on.
Got it. Sorry.
Is that what?
Okay, so yeah, so he basically comes in and he says Lore, and now Lore and Moriarty are in it, and now you got Spiner here going, Lore, am I playing Lore? And this is kind of where the whole like they start giving away things. The one thing that this panel, it must be frustrating to be Terry. My only guess is that he's a showrunner who doesn't want anybody to know what's happened, and yet his actors are constantly giving things away.
Yeah,
And,
nonstop.
We see Lore in the trailer, guys. I know we can't do the trailer, right? Because
we can show our video.
Okay. No, because we can't. You can't show the trailer though.
No, but we can show the section of our video where you break it down. That's already been cleared copyright wise. If you want,
that's true. I mean, I don't know if we should probably show that so we can talk about the panel. Some people, I don't know if they. I mean, I'm assuming everybody's seen it, but maybe we should show it really quick.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So I mean, basically what happens is they go through this beginning,
the earth,
and then.
All right, you want to break it? You want to let yourself break down the trailer real quick?
Yeah, I'm not going to do the trailer. What is it? It's not very long, right?
No, it's not very long. So this is what happens in the trailer. We can't show the trailer without getting claimed, but we already made this, and this has already been cleared.
Trailer begins with Picard receiving a distress call from Beverly, who she says is being hunted. Picard tells 7 of 9 we must run, and 7 of 9 says,
"From what?"
With this, we get our first look at the anticipated villain for Season 3, played by Amanda Plummer, who is best known for her roles in Pulp Fiction and The Fisher King. She's playing Vadec, who not only has a bone to pick with the Federation, but with Jean-Luc as well.
Jean-Luc Picard.
We see her taunting Picard and heavily attacking his vessel. Worf apparently now prefers pacifism to combat.
I now prefer pacifism to combat.
We're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die.
And Beverly will insist Picard's life is at risk.
Attempts on your life.
We have a young LaForge at the helm, and Deanna senses an
All-consuming darkness.
And then, as if from beyond the grave, one of TNG's favorite villains raises his head, and it's the hologram Professor James Moriarty, played by fan favorite Daniel Davis.
Greetings, old friend.
Oh my God! When that
And
happened,
just when
I
you
lost
thought
it.
all the excitement was over, the credits roll, but there is one more scene. The familiar face
And then I lost it a second time, and it happened so quickly. I thought I couldn't breathe.
of
I
Data
know, right?
strolls onto the screen, but instead of looking young and inquisitive, he is old and scowling. Geordi whispers, "Lore," and then there are suddenly a whole
That's exactly how I felt right
Such a
there.
great clip. Such a great insert.
Yeah. So that's the trailer, basically, as broken down by the illustrious Shane.
Thank you, and Brian.
I mean, I broke it down visually, but he broke it down.
Yes.
You know.
You did a really good job of getting a lot of Amanda Plummer in that, because there's only like 2 seconds of her combined.
Yep.
And you really stretched that out. That was
God bless artificial intelligence, because I used my one of my computers with an AI model to artificially add about 100 FPS to every one of those clips.
cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So
Took
basically-
me hours, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, man. So after that, the panel then came back and they started talking about it. And of course, so we had Spiner talking about Lore, and because we see Lore, but we don't really know how Lore is there. Now our minds automatically start wandering. And I guess we're going to talk more about Lore here in a little bit, right?
Yeah. So we were gonna
Okay.
have a completely different, like a completely section on that, because there's
Mm-hmm.
so much to get into. And I do have the portion of that panel where they are joking about it or whatever. So we should probably wait for that. But there was a moment in the panel when, you know what, we'll show that, but we'll just go into more discussion, because we also have information that's not in the panel, and we didn't put in our video because we didn't know if we should.
the Shrike.
But
yeah.
there's a lot to unpack there, to be fair.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I mean, we can just say they basically gave some things away in the panel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
yes,
they gave some
did.
stuff away about Lore in the panel, and it's pretty obvious what happens. Yeah.
Right. You want to?
Oh.
So we'll play. Let me play this. Let me play the what they say. Here we go. This is what they say.
Exchange during the New York panel between Jonathan Frakes and Spiner.
So you're Lore, and you're back as Lore, just to catch you up.
Am I?
Yeah.
Are you? Before lore? Yeah. Before lore. Before lore. There was before. Before is not in it. Lore is in it. Lore is in it in a very complicated way. Which
Yes, so
Yeah. So
they, they're giving stuff away. But look, the fans love it, so that's great.
sure. Yeah. So basically, and we're going to talk about this a little, in a couple stories here, but there's a lot more to the lore reveal than what was shown here.
Yes, a lot more coming. Then they go on to, let's see, after that, they go from lore, then they go to, if you can pull it back up on the screen for me.
Yes, sir.
Again, surreal is the word, perhaps. What's it like to see these folks gathered again?
So was my Star Trek. I grew up.
Oh, then you got Rod Roddenberry like talking about, you guys, I was a kid. I was on the set at 10. I'm like 10 years old, and I'm like a little boy. This is a little boy's perspective. And it's like home for me, guys. It's like home. I'm like,
Can I ask
you were
a
not
question?
paying any attention to none of that stuff going on.
What does, and I'm not throwing shade here. I'm not.
I kind of was.
I just really want to know, aside from sharing the last name with Roddenberry, like, what does he do?
Can you pause this? I'm sorry. You got to pause this.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Is he a producer?
Yeah. He's an executive producer on Picard.
So.
And Strange New Worlds, I think. He's just there. He's Roddenberry. He's a Roddenberry.
He's just he's a legacy. That's it.
He's a legacy guy. He's like, what would my dad think? Well, my dad would actually want a whiskey sour right now and probably be crying in the corner. No, I mean, honestly, that's kind of what the whole point is.
Then he would smack Marina Sirtis on the butt and say, "Get me one of those toots."
Well, what's hilarious here, I love what Marina says. She's like, "Hey, Rod," like she like interrupts everything he's doing. She's like, hey, you look at me, okay? You listen, your dad, let me just tell you something about your dad right now. He was great at casting. I mean, it's like, because he got picked for the show. He cast her, right?
Right. It was weird, though. It was almost like she was like, okay, all right, Rod, shut up. Shut up, Rod. The rest of us are talking. And who names themselves Roddenberry?
Well, that's not his fault.
I know. But like his dad was like, you know what's a good name? Roddenberry.
But what's hilarious here is
Rod. I know I'm being mean because I don't know the guy, but I feel like his maybe he's just like, maybe every version of Star Trek should have a Roddenberry. Maybe that's why Discovery is so horrible, is because it didn't have a Roddenberry.
I mean, I'm sure Rod Roddenberry had something to do with that too. I'm just saying, I don't think Rod's doing anything other than going, yeah, my dad probably would like that. I mean, I don't know what else he would say. Like literally. So like maybe he gives more, and I just don't know that. He's like really good in front of the fans. Oh, we have a Roddenberry here on the panel.
Roddenberry!
Yeah.
And
but Marina here
in 15 years, it's going to be like Rick Berman's kid. Right?
No, well, I don't know. Everybody's like down on Berman. Berman doesn't get the Roddenberry treatment.
No, I guess not.
Berman
was a genius. I'm sorry.
Although Terry Metalis, you find out here in this panel that I guess I don't remember which one said it. I think maybe it'd be LeVar Burton. Terry was using the term Bermanverse, like Whedonverse.
Oh, wow.
As Star Trek was like the Bermanverse. But look at what she's saying right here. Then she goes, Alex, come on, tell me, am I right here? Is it all about casting? Like 90% of the work is done if you cast the show right? And I'm like, that's something only an actor would say.
Just like, Alex, it's all about the casting, right?
90% of the work is done when you get the casting right? And we were Gene's children. They're his last children. He cast us. And it's like, now listen, this makes a whole lot more sense when you realize that the panel before this, the one where they were cussing and doing kind of funny stuff, the girl who was hosting it is like
Marina and Gates, what do you think about like, the new Star Trek? And didn't they get their place? And like, aren't women now more important to the show and coming forward? And now they're so important to what's happening in Star Trek. And then Marina just looks at her dead serious and goes, "You assume that we're watching it." I'm just like, oh my God.
Deadpan, serious expression.
Watching. Yeah. I know. And like, nobody knows what to say after that because it's like, well, she's obviously not watching New Trek.
Right.
So that was hilarious.
That was really funny.
Great moments here. Great panel.
Yeah. No, a lot of good stuff. And you know what? Marina Sirtis, and Gates McFadden look really great for their age. Like last time we saw them, I felt like they were like really old. And then it's almost as like, I don't know what it is. Like maybe because they're working again, they have so much more like vigor in life. That goes for Frakes too, Michael Dorn. Like everyone basically except for Patrick Stewart looks a lot younger than the last time we saw them.
But even Patrick Stewart has more like activity, vigor. Like there's definitely some adrenaline on this panel today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, there is. But also, Frakes also lost a ton of weight. Like a ton.
Man, you don't want to look fat on camera, bro.
Well, because if you look at Picard season 2, him and Marina in their
season
cameos. I'm sorry, season 1. Thank you.
Yeah.
Their cameos looking like they're eating a lot of that backyard pizza, and I'm not throwing any shade. I look like I do eat a lot of backyard pizza. But
we eat a couple of those backyard pizzas.
But now that he did like as an actual regular role for like an entire season, you could tell he's toned up big time.
Yeah.
And Marina.
Hey, not looking big on screen is a big motivation.
Yeah. And that's my motivation every time I rewatch one of our Thursday shows, but then I don't do it. So
that's good. Terry here is saying basically like these guys knew their characters. What you guys don't realize is that Terry really went to bat for the show. If you haven't heard us say it before, like he wanted to do season 3 of Picard different than the first 2 seasons. And he went to Patrick Stewart because Patrick Stewart had to sign off on it. And he talked him into it.
Right.
And then Kurtzman jumps in here because he wants to run this narrative. You can tell he wants to control this narrative.
Yeah,
Kurtzman. It's a very slippery slope.
Stop though, Kurtzman. Stop.
He probably should stop, but he's afraid they're going to say the wrong thing because they might.
Right.
There's some potential not greatness around this, like saying that Picard seasons 1 and 2 were a mistake could easily happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Even if like narratively they probably, I mean, for us they were. I mean, they didn't work. Picard season 1 certainly didn't work. Picard season 2 had a lot of promise, but just didn't land. Didn't hit the landing. We've talked about this before, but I believe that Alex Kurtzman is probably not as bad as a lot of people make him out to be. And that the right thing for him to do to keep his job is to stop showing up on camera. Just like stay in the office and sign checks, bro, and like let other people do the work.
I don't think. I think a lot of people think like he's a mastermind.
He's not.
But he's not. He's more of like a guy just kind of holding everything together, and he kind of I think goes with directions that people push him really hard in.
Right.
Like the reason we have Strange New Worlds is really Akiva Goldsman pushed the heck out of that. And then they ended up because Akiva Goldsman wanted that. They managed to get in Discovery season 2. They managed to get this Captain of the Enterprise.
Anson
Mount. They managed to get Pike on that. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, boom. Yeah, we got to have Strange New Worlds. So I don't think Alex is so much of a mastermind as he is like what does everybody think here? And like, which way should we go? And I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm just saying like, you guys probably should stop giving him so much credit for creating most of this stuff.
Yeah. I believe that we give him too much credit. Like, and when I say we, I'm referring to like our community here. Everyone goes like, "Oh, it's Kurtzman Trek," and I'm like, "Well, I mean, I don't know if that's accurate."
I mean, his name's on it, but
his name's on it. But
like Terry Matalas is Picard season 3, and if it's good or bad, that's going to be on him.
Right.
It has nothing to do with Kurtzman.
Yeah, Matalas is he is the mastermind. He wove the tapestry that is Picard season 3.
Yeah,
Alex Kurtzman signs checks. That's it.
And Picard could have been anything that Patrick Stewart wanted it to be. Kurtzman and those guys went to Stewart saying, we want to do a Picard show. And Patrick Stewart said, pound sand. And they're like, well, you haven't even heard our pitch yet. He's like, pound sand anyways. And then finally, like, he's like, okay, well, let me hear your pitch. And so do you think those, after getting input, like, I don't want to just do Star Trek the way it was done before. Don't you think they went and like wrote, which they did. He actually went and wrote, he wrote up a thing, like a prescript,
right?
A treatment, wrote it up quickly for Patrick Stewart based on what Patrick Stewart told him he wanted.
Right.
Which was not TNG.
Yeah, he literally, and we have a video that you guys have probably seen. It has a couple 100,000 views. Look, he didn't want TNG. One of his is this the right word? Prerequisite? Is that like
prerequisite? Yeah.
So one of his stipulations to coming back as this character was no TNG.
Yeah, right. Doom said it right. Robert Orsai.
Picard in the series Picard. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right. Doomed said the right thing here. Robert Orsai was the Star Trek fan between Kurtzman. They were a writing team,
right?
Robert Orsai and Kurtzman.
And Orsai wrote that show Limitless, which I actually like a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, anyway, so the point is that Patrick Stewart had a lot of control over where the show was going, and until Terry Matalas like stepped up and said, "Hey, look, we really got to get the TNG crew back." This, I don't know if Terry's saying it's not going well. I'm sure he's a lot more diplomatic than that. But
no, more than likely, this is what he did. He probably goes, I think Terry Matalas is a good storyteller. And he probably went.
Yes.
He probably went
with Enterprise. He is.
Good. Okay. So let me rephrase that. Terry Matalas is a good storyteller.
Right.
But he also might be a good storyteller in person. He might have gone to Picard and been like, look, this is my idea. It's going to celebrate this character. It's going to put a button on your legacy. Because, by the way, Patrick Stewart has used that word like 3 or 4 times in interviews now. He's going to put a button on your legacy. It's going to tie everything together. It's going to be this epic adventure where you can step out and finalize this character, right? And if you sell it right, and then you pitch the story that has some of those elements, I believe that you can tell a story and sell it at the same time. And he probably just got Patrick Stewart to be like, yeah, that's a great idea. Instead of leading with, okay, we're going to bring back the whole cast. No. That's not how you sell Patrick Stewart. The way you sell him is you sell him, and then you sell the elements and why the old cast is required. That's how you sell Patrick Stewart.
I think so. And Patrick admits that he wasn't even on board. He talks about it in this panel. He even wasn't really super on board with it. But then he started, I'm not sure how to take this comment. He said, then he saw how much his friends needed it. Right.
Oh.
And then he says that, which is not cool, kind of like saying they really needed it. I mean, he's already a star of his own show.
Have you seen Marina Sirtis? She wasn't working. Okay.
And how
she couldn't afford her mortgage. She needed a job.
Kind of, that's what it seemed like.
It sounded like that, yep.
And then he says, and how well it was working. So not only did they come back, they needed it. He could see they needed it, but also that it was going well, because Terry's rocking this thing. And they all, if you notice, the one thing on this panel that you guys know, almost every one of these guys here, most of them, like, are directly giving Terry Matalas credit for them even being on the show. Like, they all say it. Gates says it, LeVar says it, Marina says it. I mean, at least 3 or 4 of them say, if it wasn't for Terry Matalas, this wouldn't have happened. So if it's good, guys, if this is good, and let me tell you, if it's, everything we know, it sure feels like it's going to be good. That guy's got to get the credit for it. And then we need Terry to do more Star Trek, do something new, something that we haven't already regurgitated, and let him go crazy in a new direction with Star Trek.
Yes. And for everyone that's going to watch this clip afterwards that doesn't know who we are and they've never seen this video, never seen other videos. We actually know a ton about season 3. And in Shane's words, I think I know too much about season 3.
Yeah, probably. We're not going to have as much fun as you guys are.
We're not going to have as much fun as you are because we've already gotten a lot of the spoilers. In fact, we were surprised at some of the spoilers in the trailer because we're like, oh, they put that in the trailer.
Right. I think a lot of people, well, people who are in the know were a little surprised that trailer came out. I mean, you guys got to remember, like, there was nothing at San Diego Comic-Con, nothing on Star Trek Day. And then it was like, boom, New York Comic-Con. But maybe this was also the last opportunity to really blow this up.
Yeah, because it's 4 months away, right?
Yeah, it really worked. It was smart to do what they did.
Yeah. Like I said, I saw Moriarty and I was like, oh, they did it! They did it! And then it was like Picard season 3, and I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be great. Then it comes back on screen again. I'm like, what?
Chill. Yeah, right.
And what I know about lore, I'm like, what? They have them in the uniform and everything? What? Like, oh my God.
I love how some of these fans get up here and ask questions, and they're like telling their own story. I got to tell you, like Star Trek saved my life. I was a teenager getting bullied in school,
right?
And I watched you and felt better. And you could tell, like, all up on stage, you're like, yeah, that's good. You know, it's like, what do you say to somebody who says that? You know?
Yeah, right. Imagine that. Like, listen, without you doing what you're doing, I wouldn't have made it through high school. And you're like, huh?
I mean, it's possible.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but how do you respond to that? Like,
I don't. You
don't say that's good because it wasn't good. You don't say that's bad. It's like when someone says happy birthday, you're like, thanks. I don't.
Right.
there needs to be a response that, like, a general acceptable response to happy birthday. Because I always want to say back, well, happy birthday. Like,
I know, right? Well, have a good day. You too.
You too.
Have a good meal. You too. Oh, wait, I just ordered the meal. Okay. No, you're right. Frakes actually had a really great comment about it because he said something to the effect of, hey, we're all family, blah, blah, blah. And he had some really nice words for it. But there were a few of those. There's this moment here. I think they're talking about it now. Oh, this is where Spiner's like, oh, can I get a series? You just tell, like, the energy was, like, really.
Yeah. And Jordan really Forge, you get a series, and you get a series, and you get a series. And by the way, there might be a reason he's saying, can I get a series?
Well, obviously they want that to happen.
No, but there might be like an in-canon reason he's getting a series. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I mean, he's not saying he's getting a series.
Now, what I can say, he's not saying that, but let's just say it's a possibility.
Well, I'll tell you this. They did give away something else that we haven't talked about yet. The fact that they all want a series, and the fact that Picard's like, or Stewart's like, we'll do a movie. Does anybody die in season 3?
Bingo!
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something to consider because now, a lot of this going on, and now we've been talking about it. Somebody get killed, and then Terry kind of came out and said, I didn't say anybody was going to die, but maybe they're in danger. So I'm like, oh, okay. Because that person got really upset.
That person got so upset. And I actually feel really bad about my previous comments on that person. Because I said that person is probably overly sensitive and couldn't function in real life. Like, they couldn't even drive to work and deal with the pressures of having to deal with other people on the road because they're so sensitive and they might need mental help. I said all that. And I still mean all that. I don't like, in no way am I taking that back. It's a fact. And I feel bad that I didn't say that again because you're too sensitive to live on this planet if you get upset by those words. I'm sorry.
Well, and if you are upset about it, I don't know. I just say ignore people who.
I'm trying to be nice, but like, dude, he just said safety not guaranteed, and someone lost their minds.
Yeah, for real.
What a silly notion. By the way, Gates McFadden is 73 years old. Maria Sirtis is 67 years old. Michael Dorn 69. Jonathan Frakes 70. So they're pretty much all in the 70-year-old club here.
Yeah,
and
they're all old.
Patrick Stewart looks like he's 113.
Gates looks good for 73, man.
No, she looks fantastic, actually. You know how I feel about a handsome older woman.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. I started your fetish thing.
No, it's not a fantasy. Don't say a fetish.
I didn't say fantasy. I said fetish.
It's not a fetish. Okay. Stop. Don't make it weird. I'm just saying.
I'm not making it weird. It's you making it weird.
You called it a fetish. I'm saying.
Listen, I was with you in Las Vegas when we got near her booth, and I had to hold you back. You remember?
You didn't have to hold me back like I'm some like sexual.
Where's the
deviant
salty
that
nerd
couldn't
guy?
Control
Where are they
myself. No, who are you talking about right now? You're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about.
Her name is really hard to pronounce. Yeah, but
The voice.
She has the voice like this. Her voice is very, very deep, very troubled.
She's a Star Trek girl.
She's from Star Trek. She's in Star Trek. The movies, the Kelvin movies.
Beyond, yeah,
Beyond. And yeah, so this is who she's talking about. Just a heads up, y'all.
Oh yeah, green older woman Archmage. He's done.
Oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
All right. Her name is Shora Agulashalulu.
Good luck with that one.
I can't pronounce her name, but she's in her like late 80s or something, and she's absolutely stunning. Okay, so it's not. I applaud and I appreciate a handsome older woman because, you know, and I guess this would apply to men too if I was attracted to men. But like, how much extra effort would it require?
Right.
When you're in your 70s and 80s to look
I get it.
that good.
But I'm pretty sure you can't go meow when you're just not allowed to do that.
I did not say meow. He keeps thinking that I said meow to the actress in Big. I didn't. No, that was a response. It was a bodily response I had. It wasn't my body made a noise, but it wasn't meow. It was just a noise that I couldn't control when she got up and greeted me. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I said we weren't going to bring this up again, and I apologize.
God, she is so attractive, though. Like, oh my God!
Let the meltdown begin.
She is. If she put on green paint, that's it. It's over for me.
It's over.
It's over.
He's done.
Make that character an Orion, and it's done. I'm done.
Moving on to the panel. Were there there was a couple of interesting questions. Somebody asked Terry, would the baton be passed to the next generation, to like someone else?
Oh, yeah.
And Terry said, absolutely.
Yeah,
so that means
he didn't say that. He said definitely.
Oh, he said definitely.
It was one word. Absolutely? I know, because I had to re-engineer that word in the video.
You would probably know better.
Definitely.
So
he said it real deep and real in the mic. No other words. He was like, definitely.
It was like the bomb dropping thing.
Yes. I agree with Jeremy Snyder. Someone in Photoshop Gateman's fat as a female overwriting. Please.
Don't do it, guys.
Do it.
Don't do
it. All right.
We don't need that, especially live. Like, this guy's funny. This guy's like,
I gotta take a break.
I didn't think I was ever gonna make it up here.
yeah. This is the guy's like, I actually didn't think I would get this far.
I didn't have a question, but
I'm not even a fan of Star Trek. I'm in a Constantine coat. I was just thought that maybe this was the line for the bathroom. So
there's some crazy people. He's like, Patrick, I saw you and Ian at that thing about 8 years ago, and it's like, well, Patrick Stewart's supposed to go, oh yeah, I remember you. Thanks.
Oh yeah, that guy that was talking like using their first names like he knew him. Yeah, I saw you and Ian, and they were hanging out with Steph, and listen, Steph was good. What?
All right, this is the best part of the whole thing right here.
Carl
I
Urban.
miss Carl Urban.
Because when we used to do panels, if we couldn't get Patrick because he was
Right.
busy doing something.
So real quick setup. The guy asked the question like, if you can bring someone back into the Trek universe or whatever, and she said Carl Urban.
Oh,
Is that
just
what she
didn't want to
said?
be with us.
She doesn't know he's in the Trek universe already.
He's like, he plays one of the title characters of Star Trek. Yeah.
Oh,
Urban
maybe
would
you know what
sub
though?
for him.
Maybe she means she thinks the movies are over. You know what I mean? Maybe she doesn't think he's going to come back.
No. She said Carl Urban from The Boys.
She did say from The Boys. That was,
She's
let's
on-
get him over from The Boys.
She's on a Star Trek panel and she's talking about Carl Urban from The Boys.
Right.
That's crazy.
I prefer that.
She's hot and vibrant. She's like you, an older woman. Like for her and Carl Urban.
Because he's
To be fair though, let's be real. Look at Carl Urban and that stubble. Like there are some individuals that just surpass sexuality.
Yeah, and he's one of them.
Carl Urban, Jason Momoa, they surpass sexuality.
Got it.
They just do.
Yeah.
much nicer to look at.
That's not
He's much nicer to look at than old Baldy.
I know you all fancy old Baldy.
Oh,
but
I know
don't.
you guys love old Baldy, but I don't.
I don't love this old fart. Where's Carl Urban? Carl Urban, would you like those?
You see Carl Urban in the corner going, "Oh God, she's calling me again."
Oh my God, I was.
Okay.
She likes those Kiwis.
So
man.
if Carl Urban ever goes missing, then we need to check Marina Sirtis's basement for a tied up in a Carl Urban in a GIMP costume.
Thank you.
But anyway, that's who I would have back.
That's what I would have
It's a
back.
true family. This is what
Carl
families
Urban.
do, guys, right?
So
there's another.
The announcer is like trying to like smooth it over the fact that she basically just said Patrick Stewart sucks.
Yeah, she wants to like molest Carl Urban.
Yeah, she's like, it's a true family, guys. That's what families do, right? Yeah, families. This is normal. This is normal.
Yeah.
Everyone
Incest is
relax.
bad. You know how it is. It's all good.
Because when she said in to replace Patrick Stewart, people were like,
Oh, calm down. But there is one other thing
more
I think
question.
we
Yes,
missed it
please.
already, but they talk about actually.
This is the guy. This is the guy who says, "I didn't think you would make it this far."
Oh, is that the guy? I didn't think I was going to make it.
So
this
he's
far,
dressed
so
up as
I'm gonna put-
Constantine. He's dressed up as Constantine. He has the Constantine outfit on, right?
Right.
He's like, "Yeah, I didn't think I was going to make it this far."
You know what's funny is all I can think about is the guy standing behind him, knowing he's not going to ask a question, but is too embarrassed to go sit down. Like
Right.
I watched him the whole way. He's like, "Oh, hey, I got a picture of you, Patrick." Look at, he's like, "I got a picture of you, Patrick." Like he like waved at him and stuff. He's like, "I'm never getting to that microphone."
And the
ever."
guy that stumbled into the panel got up there first.
got up there first, right? The guy behind him with like the actual like stuff.
And then he asked, what can I do to be a better actor?"
Dumb
So
question.
he wasn't even asking a Star Trek question. He's asking about they picked the wrong person. That's it.
He's never seen Star Trek. He doesn't even know. The guy
He doesn't even know. It's like, is this the
like a DC
Constantine
fan.
panel?
But there is one other thing we got to point out in here, and that's Frakes gives away that him and Patrick Stewart, so him and Jean-Luc, are going to have a major disagreement. And he prefaced it by saying that Gene Roddenberry wouldn't like what's about to happen.
Oh, and that's because Gene Roddenberry had that rule that
He didn't want conflict.
there couldn't be
between
conflict inside the crew.
Right. And there's going to be, and they called it like Terry Matalas called it like Crimson Tide level conflict.
Yeah, the movie with Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington.
Yeah, where they're like trying to decide whether to launch a nuclear missile and destroy the entire world.
Right.
So I was like, wow, that's like a really interesting.
Well, no, it wasn't destroy the entire world. Like the argument was that it could destroy it could start a chain reaction, right?
Yeah, if they weren't supposed to launch and Gene launched the missiles, then World War III would start, with nukes.
Right.
And Denzel was trying. So who's Denzel and who's Gene Hackman?
Yeah, which one is like reasonable? And which one is like full of rage?
We're gonna find out.
You know what's really great about that movie is what an amazing premise. Like, that has probably happened at some point where the nuclear subs like had to like verify an order, and what happens if they couldn't?
They're supposed to go with their last order.
Right.
So
I was in the military, and I think I made about $4 an hour when I was in the military. So if that's the case, if there's some poor dude that's like 26 years old and he's making like $5 an hour and he gets an order to launch a nuke or something crazy, like I feel like that is a really poor situation, and that it's a lot more possible than I think people realize.
Well, it's not anymore. So that no longer exists. I don't think any longer. I was on a submarine for actually 3 days once, submarines are not great places to hang out. Very, very cramped and small, by the way.
It takes a special person to live on one for like months.
You don't want to be a big guy on a submarine. It's just not good.
Right.
But essentially, when they would go up and get that EAS message, right, they tried to get it. What Denzel Washington said was like the best. There's redundancy. So Gene Hackman kept saying like, well, you don't know if all the other subs have been taken out. All I know is Gene Hackman really wanted to launch a nuclear missile.
He really did.
So yeah, I don't think that would happen again. But
hope not.
This panel was great. I mean, I enjoyed thoroughly. I mean, everything from reading rainbows, we got
they call them rainbow heads.
rainbow heads, which I had never heard that before.
Didn't know that was a term.
Yeah, and I didn't watch Reading Rainbow. I think I was too old for that.
I wasn't.
It was in your demographic.
It was. I wasn't a fan. Like
I was like the Electric Company with Morgan Freeman.
So the problem is, I watched TNG before Reading Rainbow, and then when I was old enough, when I was in that age group, I had already seen TNG, and I'm like, what the hell is LaForge doing on this kids show?
That's funny.
Like, it threw me off, actually. So
Yeah.
I ended up not liking Reading Rainbow. So that 18 times.
They do make a joke on that panel about the Star Trek 4 movie, and Frakes says something like, well, there's an opening right now. And Patrick Stewart didn't get it at all. Like, they had this moment where Patrick Stewart's like, we'd like to do a movie. And Frakes says, well, there's an opening right now. And Patrick Stewart's like, well, that's what's holding him up. And then everybody realized that nobody knows what the hell he's talking about.
Right.
Frakes is like, he's like trying to clean it up for him. Like, you're trying to clean it up for the old. I get it. Like, he has no idea. What do you mean, Star Trek 4? What? We just want to make a movie.
Right. Season 3 is going to be amazing.
I only hear Obama.
I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on my Patrick Stewart impression. Michael Dorn, by the way, is so much more softly spoken than I thought he would be. Everyone else was screaming and yelling. He's like, Worf was on a journey. And you're like, can you speak up? And I was editing the audio for this, and I could not get his audio levels to be the same as everyone else because he was so softly spoken like this.
Well, so the good news is that he likes where Worf ends up. And that, I think, a good sign is all the actors seem to really like where their character is, and they're not like lying about it. You can tell they are genuinely happy with what happens. So I hope that means we're going to be happy,
I'm sure we will.
All right.
Very happy.
I think that's it for the panel, brother.
Yeah. All right. That's it for the panel. Okay.
I think we were longer than the panel.
Yeah, that's your fault. You did it.
I know. It's always my fault. I'll take it.
I'll take it to the bank. Okay.
What's going on over here, guys?
Check the chat.
Yeah, Jeremy says, when the cast hears those life stories, they respond with, cool story, bro.
Cool story, bro.
Cool story, bro. I mean, it must be troubling to be a famous person and to have somebody like that you've impacted their life be like, I love you. And you're like, I don't know how you would react to that. Like, you can almost imagine being like, I don't know, Tom Cruise, or I'm going to pick somebody about Brad Pitt. I don't know who you pick that somebody would affect their lives so greatly, but Leonardo DiCaprio or something. I don't know.
What's funny is there was a meme recently. Oh, we got a super chat. Can you read that?
Yes. So the Popcast, thank you for the super chat. I'm taking this out of Brian's pay. I wish I had Brian's hair. That was great, dude. That's like,
I told you I was going to do that in the last members thing. Like, oh, we can do our own super chats.
I'm like, yes, we love donating 80 cents to YouTube.
So speaking of that, I believe it was either Carl Urban or Tom Cruise. Some like A-list actor actually commented on the Leonardo DiCaprio thing. And they're like, listen, every role I'm up for was passed over by Leonardo DiCaprio. Right. Yeah. Everyone wants him as a leading man. And like, so unless he passes it up, we can't get the job.
Now it's Christian Bale.
I think, it was Christian Bale that said that, actually.
Was it really?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it was. Christian.
Archmage says paint Carl Urban green. I would like to test that to see how that affects Brian. That's actually a good idea.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe my sexuality is like, I like the color green.
Maybe.
Possible.
Just imagine the cougar on the hunt for a Carl Urban.
It was. So this is an actual statement from Christian Bale. Christian Bale said the whole of Hollywood owes their careers to Leonardo DiCaprio passing on movies they star in.
That's funny. That is funny.
Bale was asked about reports how he lost out on 5 movie roles in the 90s, including the role of Jack in Titanic. He responded by saying that the only reason he and any other actor in Hollywood gets to star in a film is that Leonardo DiCaprio had said no to the project first.
That is funny. Yeah, Christian Bale is funny. He was telling the story about American Psycho and how like him and the director, the female director, had like got it all running, got everything going, got all the investors on board, and then they fired them, like fired Christian Bale and the director.
Really?
And yeah, and Christian Bale kept calling the director, going, "No, we're gonna do it." And she would tell him, "You're crazy. They've already fired us." He's like, "No, come on, let's go talk about it." And he wouldn't give up because he wanted the role so bad. And then he eventually got it.
That's really funny, actually.
Right? He never quit. I love Christian Bale. You guys got to go back to like 1985 and Empire of the Sun.
Yeah.
When he was a kid. I mean, that guy, talk about of the great actors. I know they've got this Amsterdam movie coming out that's not doing so well, but he himself as an actor is he's an incredible actor, no matter what he does.
Yeah. Notice we didn't post the Discovery panel because
I shouldn't have drank that when you said that. I couldn't handle watching that one.
I watched it, and so there was so little actual Star Trek in the Star Trek Discovery panel. It was like,
how do you do your hair? Oh, interesting.
It was like so. What's the right word? I don't want to say personal, but it was almost like, honestly, if it was a podcast and I couldn't see their faces, I would assume it was some random no-name podcast.
And not a panel, right?
And not a panel about Star Trek. It was the weirdest thing. I know we like complain a lot about Discovery, but you guys, you have to understand. We are not gatekeeping here. We legitimately have given Discovery. How many seasons are there now? 5 seasons, right?
5, yeah, coming up.
We've given it 4 chances.
Yeah.
Every single season, and probably this season too, we'll get. Let's be real. We'll give it a shot.
We cover live action Star Trek. Period.
The end. And we'll watch it and we'll review it, and we won't do it from a biased point of view. We will always do that. But by the end of the series, we're like, oh my God, this is the worst. And they somehow every season they contradict themselves. It's so hard to explain because either you're brainwashed and you're like, oh, you know what? It's great. You guys suck. Or you won't watch it, period, because you were so burnt from the first season or first 2 seasons that you're off of it. But like there's the fandom when it comes to Discovery is so divided between extremes. People that are just like, I'm going to watch it no matter what because it's like preaching my message. And people are like, I'm not going to watch it at all because it's Discovery or it's Kurtzman Trek, and there's so few people in the middle, and we're trying to talk to people in the middle of that and be like, look, this episode by itself could be good or bad, but then we watch season 4 and every single episode was so horrendously horrible. It wasn't even good science fiction anymore. Like at least when it started, it was like, well, it's not good Star Trek, but it's decent science fiction. It's not even good science fiction anymore.
It started out as Michael Burnham being the problem for like the first 2 seasons. And then when they went to the future, she kind of stopped being the problem.
She did.
And then it became everybody else.
Then became everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just flipped. We're going to watch the next season because I think they're going to probably ruin the Iconians for us.
They're going to ruin the Iconians. Talk about a resume. Like imagine Discovery being able to say, look, all the greatest mysteries of Star Trek we have tackled and destroyed.
It hurts like you say that. Like, please stop. It's like when Picard season 2 ruined the Gary 7 stuff. It's like now they're ruining the gate of time. You know, it's like now Discovery wants to ruin that. Now they're going to ruin like
the gate of time
mirror universe.
Are you talking about
the guy who showed up? Is like
yeah. It's an actual person. Now. It's like some kind of entity or whatever.
Right. And then what makes it worse is like now they're going to do this whole thing where jumping from mirror universes, and they're trying to explain that. And now Section 31, which is supposed to happen, is still going to have the same actress, and she's now gone, right?
Right.
She's left this universe.
Right.
Now she's got to come back, but she left because she was dying. So there's like weird stuff. Oh, I got a $2 super chat here. Jeremy Schneider says, Brian wishes he had my hair.
Okay, legit.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
That's good.
Jeremy, one reason I have this haircut was after looking at your Viking pictures, I was like, yo, that look is amazing. I'm going to co-opt Jeremy Snyder's look. And everyone thinks I'm joking right now, but I literally love your hair. That's truth.
That's huge, Jeremy. That's huge. How many YouTubers say, I'm going to do my hair? How many? Come on, Gary from Nerdrotic. Do your hair like one of your fans, buddy.
Gary doesn't
like
do
one
his,
of your family members.
Gary would have to do his hair first. I'm not going to try. We know we're friends with Gary, okay? He doesn't care about his hair, okay?
Discovery. Oh, I love this Discovery Archmage. They're going to say the Iconian Empire collapsed because of Trump. That's great.
You know, I know what's really funny about that is I wouldn't put it past them. Like, I feel like there could be a storyline. Right. There could be a storyline where, like, some figure that has, like, orange hair and a very orange complexion is, like, rises to power in the galaxy. Everything. And he's talking about, like, we need to extend the barrier, the Great Barrier.
Dude, they build up the wall. Yeah, build up the barrier. Right. Yeah, well, they got Stacey Abrams to play the leader of the Federation, and she's
no, President of Earth.
Oh, what? Yeah, that's right, President of Earth. Was that what it was?
Right.
I mean, what is that like? Yeah, we back you, Stacey. I mean,
that's Uber President.
Guess what? Stacey Abrams lost her election. So.
Well, yeah, you know, that's how you know it's the mirror universe.
All right, enough reality. Let's move on to more reality.
Yeah, what's next?
The rant of the week.
Oh, that's right. Okay, hold up.
You're gonna need to take a breath for this one. Am I prepared to talk about this?
Here we go. This is gonna require some gymnastics. Here we go.
Rant of the week.
We are talking about Alex Jones. They're turning the freaking frogs gay. Yes, that Alex Jones. Alex Jones, I'm not even sure if he's playing a character or if it's actually him, because there's things he says in courts where he's like, this is a character. And there's things he says outside of court, like on every other talk show, saying this is not a character.
No, it's a character. He's not a character, because this guy has spent years. Alex has spent years doing this stuff. I mean, the InfoWars stuff is hilarious, right? Because he decided he was going to monetize his personality, but he's been doing this in public on the street, like for years with politicians. You realize this, right?
Right.
Like the Tea Party, the Republican Tea Party was like the beginning of Alex Jones.
Yeah. You can, if you had like one of those time machines, you can go back and find out that Alex Jones was at every controversial, and this is not, I'm not making this up.
Not
every controversial protest or movement or splinter group had Alex Jones. Alex Jones, and by the way, and Tim Pool, for all you Tim Pool fans, they were at the Occupy Wall Street thing.
Yep.
They were covering that. They were on bullhorns, the Tea Party. Bro, these guys, every time there's a splinter group where it's splintering off, or there's some kind of a, group that's sort of extreme or has like an interesting idea that it could be mainstream if you stripped off a little bit of the crazy, there's Alex Jones.
Yeah, Alex Jones, and this is a rant because we're going to talk about what happened. So basically, he's been found guilty in court, and he's got to pay the Sandy Hook parents $1 billion.
$1 billion.
$1 billion for injury claims. Now, let's just be clear here. What Alex Jones did was disgusting. Like, he really had no evidence. He was just talking crap, and he made a whole lot of money, and he put a whole lot of hell on these Sandy Hook families. Like these people went through the ringer because of him. Because the thing about Alex Jones is that he's like what I would say borderline, like he could be a cult leader. Like he has the personality. He has so much personality and so much ability to like convince people of things. Like he essentially kind of became this online cult leader.
Look, if you want to be strong like me, you got to buy these Alpha GPC testosterone boosters. Let me tell you what they do. Okay. Not only do they give you a great set of hair and amazing abs, but you will also get more women in your life. Yes, you have a wife, you can have more. 5 wives, 6 wives. Doesn't matter. I take them. Look at it. Works for me. Sir, you're bald. Shut up.
Buy it anyways. It'll grow hair.
Take these for I have a great physique. Sure, you're very fat. No, shut up. I take these every day. Buy them right now. Go buy them. You can go to Alpha Boost Testosterone, manly, masculine, toxic femininity, femininegirlssuck.com and buy my Alpha GPC. $35, $75, free shipping if you're a veteran.
That was great. You're getting really good at this stuff.
Thank
Brian.
you.
I'm really impressed. You kind of look like him too. Holy crap. Get rid of your mustache. Holy, look at that. Okay, never mind. So
what the hell? What's what happened right now?
I don't know. I'm like looking at this picture of him up here. I'm looking at you and I'm like, well, no, you got more hair.
Am I back now? Am I back?
The beard thing was like, weird.
Listen,
okay.
I actually take Alpha GPC testosterone girls suck pills, and that's why I have such a great head of hair.
So the whole point here is that while Alex Jones, he has the ability to like really get people to believe him. And there's a whole bunch of articles out there. And so, but here's the problem. The rant isn't about Alex Jones because what he did was wrong. And and what he did to those parents is super wrong. And he has some culpability to that, but it's $1 billion. Okay. No one gets awarded $1 billion. Yeah. Now it was a jury that did this, but it just goes to highlight like how out of control our society is right now.
Right.
Like, you know, obviously he's not going to pay $1 billion. He should. Now, granted, if he caused these people to have their lives to be bad, people came and harassed them, showed up at their house, these InfoWars people, if that happened, right now, he's got to pay.
Okay. So hold up on that note. And I'm not taking anyone's side here. Okay. I'm going to say this real quick. If the statement you just made, if his words, if his speech that is, while free, not free of consequences, that's right. What, so freedom of speech is this. You can say whatever you want, but just because your speech is free doesn't mean it's not free of consequences. True.
Exactly.
But if he's got to pay, then what about all the extreme celebrities out there that's saying, kill Trump's family, or go find this judge, or the politicians that says, let's riot in the streets. Those people caused actual physical harm to people. People died in one of those riots. Places were burnt down. Okay, are we going to hold them accountable for their speech?
So I have an example of that. So you're right. That is a really good point because Alex Jones said a lot of really dumb things and he got people to spend a lot of money. But Alex Jones didn't kill those kids. Let's be clear.
No.
Okay. A person with a mental illness killed those kids that lived in the same community as those Sandy Hook families. And it was terrible.
Terrible.
But here's the thing. Alex Jones probably made somewhere in the neighborhood of about $250 million selling products while convincing people that the Sandy Hook thing was a fraud. And if you were to tell me, yeah, he should pay that money back to these families, I might agree with that. But asking him to pay $1 billion, which is 4 times more than he might have earned off of that, is ridiculous.
Right.
Okay.
So the amount of money has been very inflated. Even with the cost of goods that, you know, the stuff he sold and his AdSense, there's no way he made $1 billion. That's just
no. He made literally $250 million. So listen, that's not what they're saying. They understand he made $250 million. This is what they want. They want now. This is in a previous trial because he's had to do a couple of these now. Attorneys for the parents requested a jury award of $150 million. This was one family. or $1 in compensation and $1 in punishment for every one of the, get this, 75 million people who they estimated were led by Jones to believe conspiracy theories surrounding Sandy Hook. They want him to pay because people believed what he said.
Okay,
now, not
hold
because
up.
hold on. Not because people acted upon
Right.
what he said, but that they simply listened to
Right.
him. Now,
Right.
that's a bunch of horse manure.
That is horse manure because, again, we're setting, and I said this on Facebook. I was like, look, we're making Alex Jones a martyr here is a bad move. Now, let me tell you why. The people that believe in Alex Jones are going to be crazy up in arms. The people that hate Alex Jones are going to be celebrating. But then there's this group of people called lawyers that are like, oh, hell yes.
Yes, awesome.
We're setting an example, and we're going to be able to sue so many people. And all I have to do is pick the right client and make sure that they're on the wrong side of whatever society is at that moment in time, because it's constantly swinging back and forth. Because I remember when I was young that everyone loved freedom of speech, and everyone hated the evil Christians that didn't want radio to play nasty songs. And now we're like, oh no, let's shut them down because they said nasty things. So we're constantly moving back and forth here. So all you gotta be is a lawyer that finds the right client, that hates the right person, to make $1 billion. Like,
that's it.
This is a bad precedent. Like, honestly, if this Maxine Waters, the politician, has gotten up multiple times, and she has literally called to violence for people for people that weren't African American. She has literally called to violence multiple times.
And when she did it, Brian, they then went did acts of violence. Those were a lot of, when she was calling for that, a lot of people went and rioted after that.
Right. Did $1 billion worth of damage that one year. They killed 300 and something people died in that first round of riots.
So should businesses be able to sue Maxine Waters?
I mean, that's what this is setting a precedent where that is a possibility.
Right. And, for example, they wanted to hold Trump accountable for, January 7th or whatever that day was. 6th. And, so they want to hold him accountable for his words. I mean, listen, people have to be accountable for their own actions. Okay. Number one. So if people were calling Sandy Hook parents and saying, you're lying, this is you, those people are ultimately responsible for their actions of harassing those parents.
Yes.
Should Alex Jones take some responsibility for his words? Yes, he should. Okay. Especially he had no evidence, and this was a disgusting thing. I mean,
he basically found it was like if a copy pasta Reddit thread came to life, it was Alex Jones. Like it was just it was like based on nothing.
It was based on nothing.
Very thin. Yeah.
I mean, kindergartners were gunned down in a school.
Right. How is it even
shut the hell up?
How is it even good for his business to even talk about that? Like,
because he's all about conspiracies, and there's things he says that there's some facts to some of them.
There is.
And so he's kind of the epitome of conspiracy theory, and the way he delivers it by letting you guys know what's going on. Okay, I'm Alex Jones. I'm going to tell you guys what's happening.
Now, listen, I have this best water. Regular water has fluoride. The fluoride that turned all the frogs gay. And if you want to buy my water, this is called the Manly Man water, and it will give you chest hair.
Now, in all fairness,
if you want to regrow your testicles, buy my Manly Man water.
And to be fair, ministers and preachers have been doing this for years.
Right. Yes.
So this is called snake oil's salesman.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that all ministers and preachers are bad. But there are bad ones out there.
Yes, there are
that do the same thing. Yeah, they're trying to get paid. Right. And listen, it's not just Alex Jones. I'm sorry, the Young Turks are on the other side of this. They're just as bad as Alex Jones. Not as far in regards to the Sandy Hook thing, but they do the same thing. They fire up their extreme left base, and they talk about things that aren't real, and they literally put facts out there that aren't actual facts, and they quote sources that are false, and they get super chats, and they sell product the same way. It's a grift. He's a grifter. The Young Turks are grifters. A lot of these people, they're grifters. He should have to pay. Yes, you know what? All the money that he made on those videos, have him pay it back. But but this is setting a really bad precedent for freedom of speech in general.
Right. So like you can't. Yeah, exactly. Now let's take another one, for example, Adam Sandman. Okay. So the kid who was in the MAGA hat that the Indian guy was beating the drum, and CNN came out with this kid is inciting violence, basically, and essentially kind of ruining this kid's life.
Kid was sitting there like this, not moving.
Right.
He was terrified of the old, like the guy beating the drum was like a 70-year-old meth head, right? Part of like the area, like he was part of like the Muslim Brotherhood. He's out there, and he's getting in this kid's face. The guy is terrified, but he's smiling because he's a dumb kid. And what does the news say immediately? White supremacist.
Yes, right. So, I mean, like, CNN's guilty of the same sort of thing. Not exactly the same. It's not Sandy Hook. It's not dead kids. But they're ruining somebody's life.
Right.
They're ruining, the school's reputation. So Adam Sandman, he tried to sue, I think, Washington Post and CNN and some other things for $250 million. Now, smartly, they settled out of court. We don't know how much he ended up getting.
That's too much money.
Right. That's too much money for that too. But the point is, the point is that Alex Jones made some mistakes. Okay. So he didn't do everything he was supposed to do in this. And that might contribute to why he's also guilty.
Yeah. Just to be clear, we're not on Alex Jones' side. He's a grifter that made hell of the lives of people that lost kids. Obviously not good.
So my point, that's, you're 100% right. So the rant here today is you still can't put $1 billion price tag on somebody for something like this. No matter, honestly, if they didn't do anything violent, this is wrong. Okay. This is absolutely wrong. It's disgusting what he did, but $1 billion is ridiculous. And if we do this, then that means it's just going to start happening to more and more things. And it just shows that the level of where our society is today. And frankly speaking, it's sad. And, something needs to be done about it. If they want to make a point to punish Alex Jones because of the things he said, what's next? Like, who says something next that, oh, well, this jury gave him $1 billion. Now let's sue, Tim Pool. Tim Pool needs to be sued for the things he said.
I mean, at this rate, Tim Pool will get sued.
You know what I'm
Jeremy
saying?
Snyder said, "You're convoluting the guilty verdict and the damages trial. Had Jones defended himself in court, we could have had a First Amendment conversation." No, Jones definitely did not defend himself correctly, and his lawyer's an idiot. His lawyer accidentally sent over like the contents of his phone. Like,
there were mistakes made, right? But still, I mean, regardless, $1 billion is dumb.
Right. It sets a bad precedent. It's not about take the emotion out of it. It's not about how much you dislike, hate, or like or love this person. It has nothing to do with that. Let's completely take emotion out of it and look at the precedent, right? The legal precedent of getting someone to pay $1 billion in damages for words that he said, no matter how disgusting, that didn't lead to violence. This is a bad precedent because there are so many. Look, if I was a lawyer, right? If I'm chasing ambulances, I'm looking at this as, oh my God, there are so many people that have been offended by Tim Pool and the Young Turks and what's the guy,
Steven
Crowder, and the little Jewish guy. Damn it, Ben.
Oh, Ben
Shapiro, and probably Patrick Stewart at some point. I'm assuming
from Canada.
Yeah, the guy. Literally, there's so many people that have been offended by so many other people. Mr. Beast, I'm sure people hate him. There's got to be a group of people out there that hate Mr. Beast, no matter how nice he is, right?
Yeah, well, just wait until something bad happens by somebody who likes Mr. Beast.
Right. Let's say
he's going to get sued for it.
Mr. Beast. Let's say Mr. Beast makes a joke about smashing cars, and some kid decides to go get his mom's keys and go also smash a car, and someone dies. Right?
Yeah, and I did it because Mr. Beast told me I should.
Right. Bro, as a lawyer, you're like, okay, well, we're about to get paid.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, take the emotion out of it. It's a bad precedent.
Got to be careful.
Every penny that he made in connection to those videos, sure, pay him to the victims, but don't pay $1 for every person that he reached. That's stupid.
And let's not mistake the fact that Alex Jones didn't kill those kids, regardless of what his opinion was.
Yeah.
And I think in a lot of ways, I feel like he's almost been held more accountable for Sandy Hook than even, the victim. Which the real thing here is mental health. Mental health and the ability for people to have weapons that have mental health issues. So that's something that has to be addressed.
I actually forgot the name of the person that committed the atrocity.
I don't remember either. You're right.
In fact, it's funny.
But we know Alex Jones.
It's not funny. It's sad. All I think about is Alex Jones now when you say Sandy Hook.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what's happened. I mean, it's his fault. He put himself there.
Right.
But he didn't kill those kids. And I just, $1 billion is ridiculous. So anyways, that's my rant.
He wishes he had a time machine. He can go back to their, when they're having like their run of show meeting that morning, they're like, okay, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. And some person was like, hey, Alex, I found this 4chan post about Sandy Hook being a false flag. He's like, yeah, let's go with that. We're definitely going to talk about that today. He wishes he can go back in time and just smack himself in the face and say, stop.
I wish I could take that back.
Take some more of your alpha GPC testosterone pills and shut up. All right.
We've beat up this thing.
All right. So that's it. Hey, hit that subscribe button on the way to the comment section to let us know how wrong we are, because I'm sure a lot of you are very passionate about this particular topic. Either you love him or you hate him, but I implore you to please think about the case and not the person, and that's all we are talking about today. Let's talk about Quantum Leap. Yes, by the way, March Mage, we are definitely going to be talking about She-Hulk. 100%. Yeah. Probably the best episode so far this season.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Listen, as a fan of television,
yeah.
When it went to the Disney home screen, and we're going to talk about this, I was like, I thought I made a mistake.
Did you? Really?
It was really clever, actually.
It was clever. No, super points for clever. But like I said, punching down. So we'll see.
Meanwhile, what's going on with the Epstein investigation? Hey, you know
that
what?
That seemed to have gone away.
Well, we've been talking about January 6th and Sandy Hook for 3 years now, it seems. What happened with Jeffrey Epstein and his girlfriend that is still in custody?
Who is still around? Is
Maxine,
she even in prison?
Whatever.
Water? No, here's
Maxine Waters. And what's happening with them?
Is Giselle or something?
Giselle Maxwell, right? Yeah. What's happening to them? What about their course and the fact that the guy was committed suicide and he had all these billionaires on payroll? Anyone? Are we talking about this? Why isn't no one talking about this?
It's disturbing that that's going nowhere. It's like, if you want to know who runs the world, it's disturbing that that's gone nowhere.
It's disturbing that we are still talking about January 6th and no one is talking about Epstein and his friends.
Was anybody killed on January 6th?
Yes, one of the protesters was.
They
killed.
The protester was killed, right? But nobody who didn't.
No. None of the actual cops or whatever. Okay. Well, no, some people died in connection to it, but it was like weeks later of heart attacks or whatever.
Let me ask you: was anybody killed? Was anybody raped or molested in the Capitol building?
No.
Okay. Oh, but that island, they were a bunch of kids.
Right, 100%. Yeah. I'm laughing because it's scary.
Priorities.
Yeah. Well, the priorities are we need to get every single person that dressed up in cosplay and raided the Capitol building, but let's completely ignore all of Epstein's friends.
Can you imagine a bunch of Star Trek fans like raiding the Capitol building? For Kirk Khan!
They're dressed up as right? Every time I think about January 6th, I think about that idiot with the I don't know his name, and I'm not trying to be mean, but it is idiotic. It's idiotic for you to put those giant horns on, paint your face, and run into a Capitol building surrounded by cops.
It was really dumb.
It's really dumb. I'm not trying to be mean. I don't know them, but it's dumb. What they did was dumb. Was very dumb. Our response, though, however, has been totally
has been equally as dumb.
Equally as dumb. Thank you.
Equally as dumb. The response has been equally stupid,
It's
especially
dumb.
when
They shouldn't have done that. It's so stupid.
Destroy those buildings and those cop cars. Oh, that police station's going down. All right. That's all cool.
Also
right?
dumb.
No,
all of that is
going
dumb.
to the Capitol.
Right. It's all been dumb.
It's all dumb. It's all dumb. Anyways, let's move on.
It's all very, very dumb. In every way, it's just dumb. Sorry. Someone asked about the Epstein thing. It wasn't me. I didn't bring it up.
See, yeah, this is why we don't go down this road typically. So the raw rant segments were supposed to be about not politics, but okay.
I don't think we're talking about politics. I think we're talking about
we just did right now. Now we just did.
No, we said it's no. What we said was our government. Well, I guess government is politics. Our government's stupid. They don't know how to handle things.
You know what? The hypocrisy is stupid. I don't like the hypocrisy on how they deal with both sides. And that's why we told Tim Russ, this is Star Trek related, in a tweet.
Boom.
He came out and said, I don't understand independence. Like, how can independence not take a side in what's considering what's happening?
Referring to the party, independent party.
Or independent people who are
people that haven't chosen Democrat or Republican.
Right. That aren't one or the other.
AKA us.
Like us, yeah. Because we like freedom, Tim.
Period.
We like freedom. And when you're an independent, you don't have to be worried that your side's going to like crush your skull because you don't agree with what they say. So we're done with that.
I just had this like visual of like that Republican senator guy. Hi, hey there. We're gonna crush your skull now because you didn't vote for the Republican Party.
That's kind of what's happening.
That one guy looks like a frog. There's a Republican guy that looks like a frog, dude.
It's okay. We don't need to look it up.
I have to look it up though, because I bet you if I just type in Republican frog man, nope, that brings up Pepe the Frog. My bad, wrong one. There's a Republican senator. It looks like, yep, Mitch McConnell looks like a frog.
Oh yeah, Mitch McConnell.
He does. He looks like a frog.
That's an old guy right there. That guy's old.
Yeah. That's funny though. Yeah, the whole party system is fun. It's stupid. And listen, if you're a Democrat, Republican, more power to you, man. But like,
yeah, we don't hate you. We love you.
Yeah,
we love you. Be a Democrat. Be a Republican. We love you.
Whatever you want to do.
Just accept other people's opinions, and we'll love you.
I will crush your skull.
It looks like a turtle, not a frog.
A turtle. You're right. I will crush your skull because you did not vote for the Republican Party. Look at me in my eyes, my dead eyes, as I
think he sounds more. I think he sounds more like I'm Mitch McConnell.
I'm Mitch McConnell, and
yeah, there you go.
I'm currently tapping my foot inside this bathroom stall, and I'm sorry. He's a funny looking dude, man. He is. He's funny looking.
This is called fun with politics.
It's not fun.
Let's do what's next.
Yeah.
Talk about something fun.
Yeah, I should have known when you chose the Raw Rant this week, you were gonna choose Sandy Hook.
I mean, that's the news. It's like I was like looking at it, going, $1 billion? I mean, he's not gonna pay it, but
no, he won't. All right, let's talk about Quantum Leap. That's a fun.
Yeah,
Mitch McConnell. Yeah, Archmage. We figured it out. Later, Jeremy. All right.
Appreciate you sticking around, buddy. No, we're going to cover Quantum Leap right now, Bacon Jr. Good timing.
All right, great timing. Yeah. Hey, Archmage. Yeah, Maxwing. I'm sorry, back on this, but Maxwing's trial did take place the same time as the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial.
Oh, interesting. So no one would watch it. Wow. Where does power come from?
Guys, that is. Do you understand how terrifying that is?
I don't even know what occurred. Was she guilty?
The power that is wielded by I don't even know who, but like, oh my God. every single person we know was talking about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. And no one was talking about the Maxine, the just whatever her name is, Ghislaine Maxwell trial, dude.
Yeah, Ghislaine, yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I didn't realize it was at the same time. That's
Wait,
terrifying.
now we got to know what happened to Ghislaine. Oh, what happened to Ghislaine Maxwell? She was found guilty of child sex trafficking and other offenses in connection with Jeffrey Epstein and was sentenced in New York court to 20 years imprisonment. So she went to prison.
Really? That no one's okay. Hold up, someone's at my door.
Is it Ghislaine Maxwell? Sorry, I had to say it, guys. I had to say it. Bacon Jr., I just leapt in. Nice. I like that. Yeah, the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing was weird. I mean, I know we've already gone through this already, but I personally don't think he killed himself, but we'll probably never know. Just like we'll never know what really happened with JFK.
My wife's at that funeral today, so people keep coming in.
Oh.
All right. Dude, you want to know what's crazy? I've now buried this year I have buried 5 close people in my life that were close, either family members or friends.
That's terrible.
And it's October, and I'm like, okay, well, there's 2 months left. What's going to happen? You know?
Let's hope nothing.
Yeah, let's hope nothing. Yeah, I don't know what. So something about 2022. People getting taken out, man. And it's not, none of it, by the way, none of it is the coof. None of it. It's all non-coof stuff. Okay. What were we talking about? Quantum Leap, that's right. Yeah, that's terrifying, by the way. The fact that it is, we'll just stop talking about it, but it's terrifying. That almost deserves, like, should we, at some point, like, actually research and make a video on who moved that trial around and who, like, or would it be worthless because it would be throttled by the powers that be? I don't know.
It would be worthless. They'll be like, coincidence. It had been set up for months, whatever.
Right, yeah. There'd be some kind of confirmation bias clicking. Jeremy Snyder was about to turn his laptop off and his girlfriend yelled, "Hey, where'd they go?" Okay. Well, hello, hey, Jeremy Snyder's girlfriend.
Your friend.
Welcome to the party. All right, we're going to talk about Quantum Leap. You ready?
Yep.
All right, we are talking about Quantum Leap, and Quantum Leap at NBC has been extended by 6 episodes, making the original 12-episode season and now whopping, and also not normal for this day and age, 18-episode season. And what a time to be alive, because we're experiencing the feeling of being wrong. And for the first time I can remember, being wrong has felt really good. Often when I'm wrong, it's because I lost a bet and it sucks or something. But I was wrong about Quantum Leap. Leading up to this whole thing, we had this whole idea that it was going to be based on the track history of revival series and reboot series.
NBC.
And NBC. We were looking at Quantum Leap and we were saying, you know what, Quantum Leap, this revival, don't call it a reboot. Darn it. Please don't stop calling it a reboot. This revival, this continuation is going to be garbage. It's going to be super woke and have all these little problems, and the story is going to be sacrificed and so that they can preach some message, and they're going to dump on Quantum Leap, and everything pointed. Scott Bakula. And it was no Scott Bakula, and everything pointed to that. Even Scott Bakula sort of accidentally pointed to that. Everything looked that way. And then we watched the first episode, and we're like, it's good.
And this is why we watch it. You know, even if we're set, and here's what's great about Quantum Leap. Let's say even if we're like latched onto some sort of confirmation bias, like let's say we're looking for things wrong, which a lot of times when you think something's going to be bad, you're looking for things that are going to be bad, and that kind of sets you off. There was nothing. Like it came and it was like, this is not bad at all. Hold on, what's going on here?
Yeah. We were actually looking for problems. I remember I had my tablet out, and I was like, and I even saw potential problems coming up, and I'm like, I'm just waiting for them to do it.
Right. Yeah. You
Nope.
just assumed it was going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't. And it's been great. So we are, I don't know, four or five episodes in now. And to get this now, what that means is to go from 12 to 18 episodes when you've put out, I want to say it's 4, right?
4 episodes so far. Yeah.
4 episodes. That's a big thing. That means that Peacock and NBC, Peacock Plus and NBC are getting good numbers for this show. And it was actually being reported that they were getting bad numbers. And then people were like really harping on the Rotten Tomatoes score. And I would like to tell you, if you're a fan of Quantum Leap and you're watching this video, please go if you like the Quantum Leap show, please go to Rotten Tomatoes and put your fan score in as being positive. Because right now it's sitting at, can you show what it is? It's like really bad.
Yeah. It's at a 50% critics and a 48% audience. And I got to tell you, this is so undeserving. Most of the reviews on the audience side is complaining about the lack of Scott Bakula. And I get it. It's disappointing that he's not in the show. But that is not a proper review. And as far as the critics go, I don't really care. The critics are almost never right. But the audience score, it deserves a better audience score. Look, guys, here's a perfect example. To everyone out there that complains about the critics always being wrong, you're agreeing with them.
Yeah, good point.
And that's what this is. Like, you're on the same page.
And I believe most of these, and I get it, most of these audience scores came in with no Scott Bakula, bad review. So I do believe that was probably, yeah. So that's a really good one. 3 hours ago. That's somebody who watched our show. What do you want to bet? I'm not sure why the show is getting bad reviews. I was a big fan of the original. And so far, after viewing the first episode, I am hooked. I truly hope it doesn't get canceled. And that's what's going to happen. If we don't get these numbers up, it's going to give them an excuse. Now, the good news is they're giving them 6 more episodes. Now, the reason why we believe that's happening is because earlier in Quantum Leap, Ian, the person who's doing like all the computer stuff, said that there was probably 10 to 20 leaps before Ben gets to the point where Janice and him are trying to get him to.
Right.
Which we believe is Sam. Now, 18 episodes and he said it was closer to 20 than 10.
Right. Which is coincidentally the number 18.
Right. So 18 episodes is perfect to have a season 1 finale where they find Sam.
Right. And the fact that the extra 6 episodes were ordered. First off, guys, this is so unheard of. This doesn't happen. It's not
anymore. It used to.
It used to. But nowadays, it doesn't happen that you actually get that many episodes in a season period. And it really is super rare for in the middle of a series that's already been shot and edited for the studio to say, we need 6 more episodes. That means they got to go back to work. Like, the job's already done.
And they got a plan. So they got to go back to work. 6 is a weird number. Like, even if you're going to give 6 more episodes, like, you might just, there's a purpose behind this.
Yeah, what this is it's a soft season 2.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I guess so.
The studio is like, look, what are you guys going to, like, we see where you're going for season 1. We feel like this needs to wrap up in season 1. And they like it enough to order it. And it's probably going to be what they need. The reaction is probably going to be what they need to get a season 2 out of it. And you know what? If they ordered 6 more episodes, that means they're going to shoot 6 more episodes. That means there's still a chance.
They got to work out whatever it takes to get Scott Bakula to come to the show, because he's not doing nothing. I guess his show didn't get picked up, right?
Yeah, his Yellowstone ripoff didn't get type show didn't get picked up.
Right. So
I'm being mean, but it was a Yellowstone type show.
It was a Yellowstone type show. And he's not really doing anything. And we don't know exactly what it is. NBC kind of pointed the finger at Bakula. Then Bakula's team was pointing the finger at NBC. Then Bakula basically put out an Instagram post that was like, I'm not doing the show. And he kind of put it on himself.
Yeah, he did.
And so now it's on him, because now Martin Givo, who executive produces the show, it was like, he can come back anytime he wants. So if Scott can come back anytime he wants, Scott, listen, I don't know, you watching the show, watch us. But listen, You need to come back. Okay. You need to come back and let them bring you home. Or if they don't bring you home, take us deeper into Quantum Leap somehow. And then you be a part of season 2.
Right.
You come back with Ben and leap around in season 2. Wouldn't it be cool to have 2 leapers?
That'd be super rad.
2 people leaping.
Imagine Ben was trying to sync his leap cycle or something. Like, dude, there's so many ways you could do this. Like,
well, yeah, exactly. Imagine like you had 2, like one leapt into one person and one leapt into another person. And in normal time to everybody else around them, they're enemies. But yet, you know what I'm saying? They could have these really cool stories that happen.
They got to find each other.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
So much. Bacon Jr. said, this is setting up an epic story to tell. Yeah, and the crazy part is, from our perspective too, at least for mine, I'm looking at this being like, oh my God, imagine when we make a Quantum Leap history. When this is all over and we make the definitive history of Quantum Leap, this is going to be the greatest button to that story.
Mm-hmm.
It will be it will be such an amazing button to make a definitive history out of. Great.
So this is just really good news. If you're watching this and you're like, Quantum Leap, what they redid that show? Go check it out. I would argue that the leaping is not the best part of it to me. To me, the going to get Sam is the best part of it. And they're just getting warmed up with the leaps. But there's no wokeness here. There's no waste of acting. There's no waste of writing. Like, they're just doing everything really well. And, you know, I think this last episode, we did a review on it, which is going to come out right for the members. We did it for the members.
Yeah. And that review is coming out today on the Unleashed channel. So right after this show.
So that you'll see that if you guys want to see the last episode. And if you're a member, you would have saw it yesterday.
Yeah. So members get all of our reviews the day after the show comes out. So for Quantum Leap, it would have been Tuesday morning, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we'll explore that, but this was definitely the best episode. And the next episode is awesome. They're going to the Old West. They're leaping way outside of Ben's lifetime, which means that the entire project is off the rails now at this point. And there's just a lot to explore. So this is exciting news for Quantum Leap fans. And there's nothing but good things that can come from this, in my opinion.
I like what Archmage says here. The revived series of Quantum Leap was terrible, but Sam leapt into the showrunner to set everything right.
You guys in these leaping stuff.
Oh my God.
It's true. They still need to explain where the person is. Like, where's Ben's body?
You know what?
I still need that.
You know what the great thing about Quantum Leap is? Quantum Leap never had a chance to get to that. So it was made in this weird place between the super campy sci-fi and then the more thought out sci-fi. So it was made in between that time where they made very thought out, very heartfelt science fiction, but they didn't get to almost like they were sort of like the template for that style, because they didn't get to the point where they were making like meta commentary, like Stargate talking about itself when doing Wormhole Extreme, or even Battlestar Galactica talking about the old Battlestar Galactica as a TV show on the show. Like, we're going to get to the point with Quantum Leap, if it keeps going, where there'll be an episode where they leap into a showrunner of a series making a Quantum Leap style show. We will get that.
It would be cool if they did that. Yes, I agree. I mean, I should write that. I should write that. I don't know if they would allow people to submit it, but I could write that for Donald Belisario.
Honestly, you should write it and send it to Terry Metalis, who can get it to Donald Belisario.
Yeah, maybe. We'll look into that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Shane might become a writer pretty soon.
I am already a writer. What are you talking about?
I mean, for like TV shows.
Maybe. We'll see what happens.
He's being coy.
We have good theories.
Yeah. All right. Sliders. It's funny. I remember watching Sliders and thinking, so I love Sliders, right? Because I saw that before I saw Quantum Leap. Years later, I watched a few episodes of Quantum Leap, but I didn't get into Quantum Leap until Shane actually got me into it. And I'm like, oh my God. So Sliders was like, if you had ADHD and you wanted to make a Quantum Leap show.
Sort of, yeah.
And I loved Sliders, but Sliders was sort of like, let's be a campier, more fast-paced version almost of Quantum Leap. It was like, oh, so this was like, that's why I like Sliders. It was made for me. It was made for me and my ADD riddled brain. That's why I couldn't get into Quantum Leap until I was much older, and I didn't really understand the dramatic aspect of it, you know?
Yeah, Sliders had like no budget. It's amazing what they accomplished with no budget. I realized recently watching Sliders how little special effects are in that movie, but yet your imagination really like hones you in. Like almost all the scenes are like inside of a room or on a street or something like that. They're not really doing these big, huge production things. Like there's a few that do that.
The writing was so well done in those first seasons. Yeah.
When you write well, you don't need all that. So Quantum Leap's doing the same thing.
You know what that is? So when you're making when you see horror movies where like the characters are talking about the monster and never showing it to you, it's because they didn't have the budget for the monster.
Right, yeah.
And so the writing has to be so stellar and the acting has to be so stellar in order to sell you and get your imagination involved in the story. And Sliders did that often. Now they fell off. It got weird and dumb, you know, as it went on, but it started off really strong. And the fact that you built an entire series around what's his name, Jerry McConnell, right?
Oh, Jerry, yeah.
Whatever his name is, the main character,
Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell was not really right for that role.
But he worked.
It worked. It worked because the writing was good. But like, if you think about it, when you look at Jerry O'Connell, you go, yeah, that guy's an MIT graduate.
I mean, no, he had the look. It was okay.
No, he looked like a surfer from Pasadena, bro. Let's be real, okay? You know, he looked like he might have lived in Pasadena, but instead of going to Caltech, he was surfing in Newport Beach on the weekends. That's what it looked like.
Maybe.
Right.
I believed it.
I still loved it.
But yeah.
Way.
Yeah. All right. Where are we at?
Yeah. By the way, speaking of the Jaws, like Jaws doesn't work without the writing because back then it was practical effects. You couldn't show an actual shark. Like
they did though.
I mean they did, but they didn't. They didn't show as much as they wanted to show. If there was 3D graphics back then, it would have been probably not as good.
And you know it might not be as good, right? Because we've seen Megalodon, the Meg,
right?
Yeah,
I like the
not
Meg,
very good,
by the way, but it's a bad movie. It's
a
bad movie, but I still liked it. You can like bad movies. You can be like, you know what? I was thoroughly entertained by this piece of garbage.
Yeah, I think I have a Jason Statham problem. I don't know though.
You definitely have a Jason Statham problem.
I do. I think that's my problem.
You didn't like Hobbs and Shaw either.
I didn't see Hobbs and Shaw, and that's why I have a problem.
It wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't a good movie. Like
I just have a Jason Statham problem.
Every time someone goes, "Hey, you know what? The Rock makes everything good," I'm like, that's not true.
Hey, for those of you tuned in for Quantum Leap, we apologize.
Anyways, we're done. Quantum Leap got 6 more episodes.
What does Jason Statham have to do with Quantum Leap?
Sorry if you're tuning in right now. We got a little sidetracked. That's my bad. That's what we do that sometimes. We're like, I have ADD and Shane is very nice and doesn't want to interrupt me sometimes.
That's good. I like that.
All right, guys, hit that subscribe button on the way to the comment section. Let us know what you guys think about Quantum Leap. Have you hit that Rotten Tomatoes score and have you added positively to it? Let us know. Yeah. We will include the link to the Rotten Tomatoes thing just for all you lazy people out there. So you can click it and go right there and review it. And I hope that we didn't make a mistake and there's like 18 people about to give it a bad review.
Like, we'll show Quantum Leap what we're going to do.
We're going to show you right.
Yeah. We'll give you a review 1 star.
All right, guys, hit that button. All right, let's. Wow. I don't know how I get sidetracked so easily.
Well, it's not your fault. Sometimes it's a comment, and then like you'll end up somewhere else.
Yeah,
Halloween is coming out in a couple of days.
By the way, Archmage and Chris are like notoriously good at getting me.
You guys are bad. I think you guys do it on purpose to Brian.
The Rock got Superman back. Yes, and we're gonna be talking
about that. We'll be talking about that. That's a member section thing right there, Chris.
I'm not even mad about the tattoo anymore. Not even mad. I'm a little mad, but
is it happening?
Oh, I mean, let me check the poll. Let's check it.
Is Brian getting a tattoo on his?
Here we go. So I put out a poll. I put out a poll and I said, in honor of the news about Superman, I'm getting a Superman tattoo. Where should I get it? And stupidly said, very stupidly said, center chest, shoulder, arm, or lower back. I stupidly include the tramp stamp. And there is a lot of reasonable people that clicked on this and said, shoulder. But the majority of you, absolute chads, decided that a tramp stamp was the most fitting placement for my new tattoo. And just so you guys know, Black Adam comes out next Thursday. We'll be watching it that Thursday night. I have a bunch of tickets. And I will be showcasing my now lower back Superman tattoo. My tramp stamp. I will be showcasing my tramp stamp next Thursday because I am a man of my word. I am a man of my word. I hate the fact that I'm saying this right now. But
I'm not a man of my word.
I cannot believe. I can't believe so many of you hate me that much.
I'm at least 2 of those votes. I think. No, I'm just kidding.
You did, huh? Be honest.
I actually did not vote because you had already voted, and we only have one login. And you voted for shoulder,
and it's older. I don't know why you can only set this thing like.
I thought like a week.
I must have set it for only a week or something.
Listen, it's going to be great.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not going to be.
Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Terry Matalas.
I'm getting a Superman tramp stamp in 2 days. Do you understand how stupid this is? This is so stupid.
Look, Chris says it right here. You're not doing it. Just do the shoulder.
I'm gonna do what the internet told me to do, and that's usually people's last words.
Well, at least you're doing what the rest of America is doing. Good job. Do what the internet tells you to do.
Maybe I should set a poll for only our members.
Oh, do a new poll and then go, are you sure? Question. On that one.
I'll do that. Sure? I'll do that.
Yeah, just to see what happens.
Are you really positive on this?
Are you
because
sure?
I don't feel good about it.
Think of me and not yourself.
I asked the Salty Nerd guys to do the poll. Like, you guys go save me and go hit this poll. And they're like, yeah, no problem. And the number for lower back went up.
Yeah. No, you don't ask your friends, bro.
No, you never ask your friends, bro.
Friends are going to be like, let's see if he'll really do it.
Yeah, just so you guys know. So next Thursday, I will have the tattoo and I will be showcasing it. You guys will see a tramp stamp. Ooh, change the Wikipedia definition of tramp stamp location to technically win. I like that, Shane. Or can't you edit Wikipedia pages? Handle it for me, bro.
I don't know if they'll let me do that one. I don't know.
I
if
voted
I
tramp stamp. It's forever.
But it's forever. Now that's why Chris was telling you don't do it because he feels bad. He's like, oh damn, I didn't think he was really going to do it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm a man of my word. If you've been here for a while, you'll know. Like, I don't play around. I will find a way to do whatever I say I'm going to do, even if it becomes completely impossible for me to do so. I will figure it out.
At least you'll have a good story.
Do you remember when I had red hair?
I do. Oh yeah.
So you guys, I don't know if you guys were around for this, but I lost a bet to Shane, and the audience picked something. The audience picked something. I had to dress up like oh my god, what is her name? Something. Oh my god.
Carmen Electra?
No, Scary Spice. What's her name?
Oh, Posh Spice. Yeah, I can't remember.
No,
Beckham.
No.
It was
Jeez. That's how much we Mel B.
Mel B. Yeah.
So, but the problem is that episode Mel B had like crazy red hair and
that's what it was.
So we ended up getting my hair dyed like fire red or like Ferrari red. And I thought it was going to be like a couple weeks. Dude, it lasted months. It lasted months, dude. Nobody took me seriously for months.
But when it was just the tips, it looked pretty good.
It's okay.
Yeah. So we going to talk Terry? What are we doing?
We're going to talk some Terry.
Talking Terry Matalas.
Is there
Jerry Hallwell? It would have made more sense to be Jerry Hallwell, red shirts. But unfortunately, it was Mel B that was doing America's Got Talent. And she had red hair. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was Mel B. She had red. Because she dresses up like all crazy. Remember, every episode was like something different.
She was off the chain.
Off the chain. You know, her hair had to be like absolutely just like straw by the end of that series because every episode she was dyeing a different color.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick, what tweets am I doing for Weekly Terry? You didn't put down here.
I don't know, but I'm just going to go through his Twitter and we're going to talk about stuff.
Oh,
I've got it up, and the reason why is because we gave away all the Terry stuff from the panel when we talked about the panel earlier.
Oh,
I was actually going to use the panel to do the Terry stuff.
Weren't you talking to Terry Metalis this morning though?
Yeah,
he didn't.
But
all right.
but I can't give away any of that stuff.
Okay, you can't give that. Okay, that's unfortunate.
I promised I would not give away things that I should not.
Yeah. So Terry and Shane are now in this bromance where they get to talk all the time, and now they don't get to share anything with the rest of us. That's not cool, man. I'm kidding.
So listen, here's what I'll tell you guys. Wait, start the Weekly Terry, and then I'll start this.
Okay, here we go. The Weekly Terry. I need to get a sound effect for this.
We have one.
I know. I forgot to insert it again.
Terry.
Here we go. My name is Brian. That is Shane. This is the Weekly Terry. And if you guys don't know what this is when we climb through Terry Metalis' trash outside of his house. We'll comb through his tweets. We have infiltrated his bank, and we know his banking information. We hacked his phone. We get to look at all of his WhatsApp and Grindr accounts. We are here, and we are talking about Terry Metalis because this is the Weekly Terry, and we got the inside scoop on old Terry Metalis.
Yeah, this inside scoop that everyone else has on Twitter. Listen, guys,
actually,
stop fighting.
We don't have the inside scoop. We're just looking at his Twitter. In fact, I'm such a nerd. I made a program that scraped all of his tweets and putting it into Excel spreadsheets to make it easier.
I appreciate the ease of access, which
Thanks.
I'm not even using today. But yes, you guys got to stop fighting with Terry on Twitter.
Stop.
Okay,
Stop
trying to like incite him. Okay, stop saying things. Listen, it's rare to get this sort of, communication with somebody this close to a TV show. I mean, think about it. Think about all your people that are out there. Are they talking to you on Twitter? No, they're not. So, kid gloves, please, when you're saying things about his stuff.
And you know who you are.
you know who you are.
You know who you are. You know us. Stop, please.
Yeah.
I respectfully request you to please stop harassing.
Well, and you can be there's reasonable conversation and stuff like that, but anyways, just do your best. Couple things from the Terry Metalis this week. So we did learn, that not only is he a guy who makes TV shows, but he's also a guy who watches TV shows. So apparently the three shows, this is what he's saying here. 3 shows have absolutely outstanding first seasons. They are House of the Dragon, Andor, and Reboot on Hulu.
Oh, Reboot's actually quite good.
And I would actually agree with, after episode 6 of Andor, I would agree with all 3.
Really?
Yeah, and here we go. Special mention to The Patient, which, yes, that's a great show with Michael from The Office. I just totally drew a blank on his name. Steve Carell.
Steve Carell. About the serial killer?
Yeah. Handmaid's Tale, which I can't seem to get myself to watch.
I can't stand it. I've tried. It's every episode just like it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah. And Rick and Morty, who don't qualify, but also crushing it.
Yes.
So.
And to be fair, Terry Metalis is a massive fan of Rick and Morty. And I've been telling you for years how good that show was. So
I know, but I can't watch it. We've already talked about this.
I know.
Yeah. So, and that's the Weekly Terry. No, I'm just kidding. that would be terrible. Let's see. What else do we got going on here? Terry has been in New York for Comic-Con.
Yes, he was at the panel.
So he wasn't exactly all over this thing too much. But we do know that Amanda Plummer, who we're going to talk about here pretty soon, was the only actor that he wanted for Vadec. That's in Picard season 3.
Yeah, we also found out a few weeks before the news that he's actually a big fan of Amanda Plummer and Pulp Fiction.
Right. So he's a huge fan of Amanda Plummer, and her brand of acting, from what we understand, is really just going to play well into the character of Vadec. And I think you're going to get kind of this just person who's at the edge of what's the right word? Craziness?
Insanity?
Yeah, insanity. Like somebody who's like just apparently there's a very sympathetic reason why she wants to kill Picard and destroy the Federation.
I would say it's almost like she's someone who was sat down and they pinned her eyes open with tape and they made her watch 3 seasons of Star Trek Discovery.
Okay, what's that? That's not good. You shouldn't do that to anybody, by the way. So anyways, we got that. Terry said, just you wait until you all see LeVar Burton's performance in season 3. It's going to be some Geordi you've seen before and a whole lot you've always wanted to.
Ooh, and I love this. I'm sorry. When you're done, I want to interject.
No, go ahead. Terry does a lot of these things. So we need to remember when we're going to watch this. Terry has warned us. You're going to see a lot of what you've seen before and then a lot that you've always wanted to.
Right.
And I can't wait to know the definition of that. Like, what have I always wanted to see that I'm not aware of? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what I've always wanted to see, but Terry knows. And I'm excited to find out what that is.
Now, is it like what I wanted to see now as an adult or when I was 13?
No, because when you were 13, nobody should put on TV what you wanted to see.
Okay,
So,
I wasn't even going to go there.
Yeah.
I was being serious. I guess technically if it was 13, it would be Marina Sirtis show by herself.
Right, yeah.
On OnlyFans.
She gets her own show.
Right. I guess, yeah. Thanks for making that a new joke. I meant when I was a kid and I had like ideas of watching the Romulans sword fight with Cardassians or whatever, you know?
Okay, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think these characters are going to do things that they have never done, but maybe they should have been able to do more in some of the shows.
Right.
I think that's what he's talking about, you know?
So one thing here, my friend, is that Jonathan Frakes retweeted the Star Trek on Paramount Plus account. They tweeted out the trailer and they said the final voyage premieres on February 16th. And Jonathan Frakes retweeted that with a comment saying, well, maybe not final. Dun, dun, dun.
Ooh. This isn't even the weekly. It's not even the weekly Jonathan. It's the weekly Terry.
But Terry Matalas retweeted it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's how this is how this plays in.
That's how you know.
It. Yep.
So explain it.
Well, Jonathan Frakes and Patrick Stewart shared a moment where they were talking about maybe making a movie. I can't not do
why you keep doing this. Barack?
What if we made a movie?
Okay, that's better.
And Jonathan Frakes was like, well, there's an open slot. And Picard has no idea what he's talking about.
It's like, it's holding them up. That's how they stand up at Paramount Plus.
Holding them up. Anyways, it could possibly be that they are planning on making a movie, not because Star Trek 4 was held up, but because they want to make a movie and they can't seem to make an actual Star Trek 4 movie because it's cursed. Right?
Yes.
So I could totally see that if this is really as well received as we think it's going to be, there could possibly be a final TNG movie. It's possible.
Okay, it's possible, but look,
it shouldn't happen.
Yeah, he keeps saying this is a satisfactory conclusion,
right,
to the TNG story.
Right.
I don't know if we want a movie at the end of this.
Well, maybe we don't want a movie with all of them. Maybe we want a conclusion to TNG, and maybe when they pass the baton, maybe then we get some cameos or whatever for a new series with new characters. I've said it for years. Stop going to the past. I like Strange New Worlds, but I understand canonically that it should be taking place at that time period, But oh my God, I would trade it in a heartbeat for a show that took place in the future of the story. Discovery. I'm looking at you, kid. Like, hey, stop going backwards. Like, have the balls to tell a story in the future. It seems like no one wants to do it because they're so worried that if they tell a story in the future and they get it wrong, they're going to lose their job. So they're hanging out in the comfortable past, and they're basing all their decisions on the weight of the writers that came before them, the titans that came before them. Terry Matalas is like, screw it, I'm making a story. Even season 2 of Picard somehow figured out how to go to the past. That's what they're always doing. Sorry.
Well, I guess no. You make a good point, but I think, in all fairness, a lot of people thought the best way to bring Star Trek back in was to spend time in that place, you know. But I think the problem now is we've done it, and now we're all just ready to move on. Like, we're ready for something that's post, you know, TNG, post Voyager, post Picard, technically,
right?
You know, something after 2400. So that's what we want next. I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yes, and it infuriates me.
Well,
strong. No. Let me finish. That it bothers me. What infuriates me is that Discovery, after it ruined the past, went to the future and started writing the Cliff Note version of the future on their way.
It ruined the past, and then it ruined the future. That's a really good way of putting it, because now they've said things that have happened in the previous 900 years.
I know
that now are canonical. You're right. That is true.
It's like whoever wrote this, like, you know, we'll just burn it all down. Like, we're gonna wreck this, and they literally sent Discovery away because it was so poorly received, and it made no sense canonically to anything going on, that they moved it into the future, and now it's in the future, and it's making statements regarding the last 900 years of their time, which is involving our future. And those statements either now they have to stick for it to be canonical, or that be ignored completely.
Well, the good news is it may be a while before we really get to anything that's difficult.
Like, you mean like the fall of the Federation?
Yeah, the fall of the Federation, the burn, that's going to take a while. So we actually have to have time travel problems first. So there's, and got to remember, Enterprise also screwed up a few things there.
Yeah, with the temporal,
or at least not screwed it up, but the temporal war thing is, man, I feel sorry for whoever has to deal with that. Although Terry Matalas is probably the guy who would deal with that, since he was on Enterprise.
You know what's funny is Terry would be the most qualified person to write the temporal wars.
Right.
Not only did he write the episodes on Enterprise, and he was part of Voyager, but also he understands time travel much better than the average writer. And he made 13 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys, yes.
Sorry, 12 Monkeys. Why is it 12 Monkeys? Like, oh my God, like, this guy is the king of understanding how this works. So if he had to write the temporal wars, like, I would really like it to be the guy that writes time travel for fun. Okay.
Yeah. And if Picard season 3 goes off like we think it's going to, I don't know what Terry's next project is, but I hope it's his own Star Trek series from the beginning, and it's something going into the future. That would be great.
Right.
You know, something new, you know, or if you want to pass the baton off, because he does say, like we said earlier, so they will pass the baton to the next generation. He said either definitely or certainly, one of those words you were talking about. He said they definitely will pass it to the next generation.
Interesting. You know what? This is starting to make me really, really hope. Okay, this is successful. As a Trekkie, I want to see it be successful. But if it's successful, we get more in Terry Matalas Star Trek, where he can actually write the stuff Enterprise promised us. In fact, if you look at when the Enterprise timeline matches up, it matches up to like the temporal wars being around the time very shortly after what happened with Picard, right? 25, 30 or something like that, right?
It's going to be, it's still ways down the road. I mean, I think we need, you're right.
Like 80
but I think
years from what's going on right now.
But if we're passing it off, then it's not going to be temporal wars, because we're passing it off to 7. We're passing it off to, that's who it's going to be passed to Geordi's daughters. That's who it's going to get passed to Picard's son, possibly.
Oh, dude! Yeah. You know what? I got a bone to pick with all you Trekkies out there. because no one believes us. And so few people have watched the video that believe us. And we're at this point where I'm like, look, we're not guessing. This is not like, oh, this is a wild podcast theory that has no basis in reality. Like, no, it's real.
There's just a lot of information out there about it, and we caught it and we shared it. But listen, we don't have to. When Picard season 3 comes out and you guys love it, okay, or hopefully you love it, and you see that what happens, then just come back and remember where you got it from first. So that's what we want to say.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Yeah. Okay. So when does the 29th century? Right now, what century is Picard in? Do you know?
They were right around 2402, 2403.
Okay, so they would be in the 25th century, right? And oh my God, did you know? Oh, Discovery is the worst. So Discovery is taking place in the 29th century, and that is when the temporal wars are supposed to take place.
Was it really?
Yeah,
from Enterprise?
Something's so it's Daniels. No, that's right. That wasn't the temporal wars.
I didn't think so.
But Daniels was from the future.
Yeah,
he was from the 29th century, and there was still a Federation there. Remember, he took Archer to like the Enterprise.
Yeah, I
G or something.
Hopefully more than that, but yeah.
And whatever it was, like Z, X, Y, I don't know.
Well, okay. I mean, that's something we definitely should break down at some point, but maybe we should do a video on that, Discovery and Enterprise.
Yeah, I think that they're contradicting each other.
All right.
Interesting. All right. Sorry to get off on that tangent, guys. My bad. That's what we always do. We're always looking for like something to talk about, you know? So when you're always in that mode, like you're in that mode.
Another thing here that Terry retweeted somebody else that I thought was interesting. He retweeted somebody called Live Long and Prosper because there was someone complaining that Worf was a pacifist. And Terry kind of pushed back against this on Twitter. And it says instead, this person said, Worf didn't say he was a pacifist, only that he prefers pacifism now to Riker. And Terry goes on to say here something similar to that, but he goes, remember, Worf has a sword on his back.
Right.
So he's not a pacifist. So that's something we need to, for those people who are upset, you know, I think Worf's journey, and Michael Dorn did say that at first, you know, he wasn't sure, but they convinced him of a few things and now he likes it. And it might be something to the effect of, you know, kind of like a Rafi redemption story, because remember we left Rafi in season 2 and she kind of wasn't all right.
Right.
No, you know,
she definitely was not all right. No, man, but hold up. Shouldn't she have been better now that her son
they didn't forget
was back?
Well, I don't know, but she seemed to have a lot more issues. Remember, she's got the whole thing with her son.
Right.
She's got the problem with, you know, drugs and alcohol or whatever it is. She's got problems. And so maybe Worf is the guy who's going to like help her through that. Maybe, you know, some discipline, some character stuff.
Right.
So I could see that happening. And I don't, you know, I think Terry dropped so many great hints just at the panel and stuff like that. I don't think we have a whole lot of other juicy things here from him, but it's going to keep coming.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep taking a look at everything, and we'll make sure we share that with you. So.
Yes. And I got a little sidetracked, guys, because the Discovery thing. And
you're somewhere else. The Weekly Terry is
no, because I believe that the Temporal Wars can be a series that happens very closely after Picard. Because according to Enterprise, so there was 2 Temporal Wars, like the Dirty Wars that took place with like the man, what that Enterprise talked about the majority of the time, and then later on. The 29th century was the people that came back to make sure those wars didn't take place and ensure the Federation. So we actually could get a Star Trek Temporal Wars show, and it's not that out of the realm, especially considering all the video games are all about temporal this and temporal that and timelines and all that stuff. And they're talking about Temporal Wars all the times in those games. It's completely possible.
Okay, one more thing from Terry, the Weekly Terry here. He is talking to someone called Vega Writers, and he says, "I'm sorry that I wasn't able to please everyone." So this Vega Writers person put out a thing here. "I worked out a good chunk of my anger kneading bread, but I do not for the life of me understand how Terry Matalas could give interviews saying that the old characters just didn't fit in the storyline and then bring back Lore, but not Data's daughter." Terry responded, and these are the fans that bother me.
Knowing what we know, that's just such a stupid.
I mean, not even knowing what we know. No, it's just not nice. Like, this is a TNG story, and you couldn't have all those actors. You cannot have all these people on the screen and not have anything for them to say or do. It happened in Picard season 2. Literally happened. Some of the characters didn't have anything going on. There's just too many of them.
Right.
You can only do so much in 10 episodes.
It's silly. That's just a stupid thing to complain about, though, bro. It's a stupid thing to complain about.
So here's what Terry had to say. And this is why Terry's a nice guy. Okay. He doesn't have to do this stuff. "I'm sorry I wasn't able to please everyone. We are really happy with what we've done here. Sorry if we lost you. I'm sure there will be more Soji adventures in the future."
What?
Yeah, did you pick that? Did you pick up on that?
Yeah. Why is he talking about Soji?
Well, he knows more than we know.
Well, he does.
So he's saying, "I'm sure there will be more Soji adventures in the future." So Star Trek's not done with that character.
No, it's not. And she's off traveling the galaxy with
No, that's not Soji.
Oh no, that's the other one. That's dope. That's the history version. Oh, my bad.
They had to give the actors jobs.
Right. You're right. I'm dumb. So Soji,
they played other characters.
Soji actually never went back with them. So she was just hanging out at the Federation.
Yeah, Soji's she's
an ambassador for like androids.
Android. Yeah. So listen, that is part of the future of whether you like Picard season 1 or not, or the beginning of season 2. That is canonical, and that is the future of Starfleet. So you got Soji, you got several of those characters that are all going to be there when they hand off the baton. So Terry might be talking about, look, if we go do more Star Trek, Soji's probably going to be there, and these other characters that got left behind.
Yeah, but you know who won't be there? I don't think any of the characters, any of like the side characters from season 1, season 2, season 2 of Picard, they've managed to. They got rid of Rios. They got rid of Murder Doctor. I'm forgetting her name. Allison Girardi.
Well, not technically. She's still there, kind of.
I mean, technically, yeah. Technically, she's still
They're
there.
Not going to address it.
Yeah. I'm still bummed out. She doesn't have hair. She looked great in that dress. I'm just saying. And the kid is in Starfleet now, so you can sort of write him off as like, oh, he's doing his thing. You don't got to worry about him anymore. So,
but really, he might be in the show. Be in it.
Right. But yeah, if he is, it's like, it's not very important though, right? So now he's like, oh, what's left? Oh, Rafi and Soji. And they even gave Soji a conclusion. They said, oh, she's an ambassador for Percent Life. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Right. But I'm just saying, if there is stuff happening, and this is not, by the way, this is not Terry saying we're doing more new Star Trek and here's Soji. What it is that's a likely future. If there is Star Trek baton being handed off, it wouldn't be surprising if that character was involved, Right.
Okay. Well, that is it for the Weekly Terry. I'm sorry I got sidetracked on that thing. I wanted to make sure that I was correct when I said that. It is entirely possible we can get another series after this. And Terry said we're handing the baton off. He said definitely. So there's a lot. Just to be clear, there's a lot here. There's a lot that came from that panel. There's a lot writing on Picard season 3. From what we know, it's going to be fantastic. From what the trailer looks like, it's going to be fantastic. Star Trek isn't even close to being. It's not something that's going to die on the vine. Like it might have came back, and it came back in a weird way, and it was hard to work out, but I feel like the growing pains of Trek being come back are starting to come to an end, and we're starting to get some decent decisions being made. And I believe that the future of Star Trek is a lot healthier than what we thought it was a year ago.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not. There are a lot of people are saying it's going to be gone, guys. It's not going anywhere. It's going to keep going, and you just got to find your place here in it. And hopefully, as we go forward, it just keeps getting better. And we got to stop looking back, and we got to look forward. Look forward to Picard season 3, and some of our favorite characters are going to be back. So
yes,
very excited to see what happens.
Hit the subscribe button on the comment section to tell us that you're not going to watch any Klutzman Trek, because we get a lot of those comments. Love you guys. Hit the comment section. Okay, I got so distracted when you're like, no, it can't take place. I'm like, no, I think I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm right here. Pretty sure I am. And Discovery, by the way, and we'll talk about this later, but Discovery has some explaining to do, because there is portions of Voyager and other shows that have gone to the 29th century multiple times, and they're completely different to what Discovery is. However, they were always canonically correct to themselves, but never to Discovery. Interesting.
Well, then maybe we need a video that's like Discovery destroyed the 29th century or something like that.
What if Discovery is the reason for the burn? On their way in, they changed time.
That'd be kind of cool.
They blamed it on that poor Kelpian, but in reality,
I don't even want to go back there. If anybody wants to know why Discovery is ridiculous, just visit season 3.
Well, no, go look at it. We have a video on Lee's channel called "Ridiculous."
Yeah,
that's what it's Discovery, and it just says ridiculous. Go watch it. We'll explain. It explains it all. All right. It's pretty rad though, man. There's some really good stuff. All right, so we're talking about. Oh, we're gonna talk about lore next, right?
I feel like we've talked so much Star Trek.
We've talked so much about lore, and I don't want to give up any of the stuff we were talking about earlier about lore. I think we should skip lore right now, because if we talk about lore, I'm gonna have a hard time not. Oh, F it. Let's talk about lore.
Well, listen, just tread carefully.
Yeah, so we actually know stuff that we're not supposed to talk about, and it's hard. But I'm going to be careful.
It would ruin it for them. The problem is we don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, we don't want to ruin it for you. No, you're right.
So let's just stay along the periphery.
Okay.
On the edge of what it is.
I know what periphery means.
I know, but sometimes I've been trying lately my kids are like, look at me like, what did you just say? And so I've been like trying to like correct myself. So.
We're not going to skip lore. We're not going to skip lore, Hiroshi. And I will explain more about what I just meant, what I just said in the members section, where I won't get in trouble. Because people aren't going to see this in the members section and yell at me. So let's talk about lore. Ready? What are you laughing at? You know I'm right, though. Like
I might yell at you.
You might yell
You're like,
at me.
no one's going to yell at me. I'm like, I might yell at you.
What I'm saying is, like, Terry's not going to see it and get mad.
Terry might become a member, and we just don't
just to yell at us.
He's like, what are those guys saying?
I'm going to talk. In the members section, I will explain more about what I just said. Okay. But right now we're going to talk about lore. So let's do that.
All right.
We are talking about lore, not as in like story lore or whatever else lore can mean, but no, the lore of the character /B4 /Data, Brent Spiner, Adam Soon, etc., 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 etc. His face popped up in the Picard season 3 trailer at the very end, and we heard Geordi say lore, just like that, really ominously. And lore was behind some kind of, it could be a brig or a security door or something along those lines.
Maybe he was having lunch,
and he was having lunch and he heard him coming in, and he has this like permanent scowl. Yeah, it could be 10 forward. He was in some room that was separated away from Geordi, and Geordi says, lore, like that. Lore. And it was fantastic. It came after the Moriarty reveal, and it just like added to my elation. And we're going to talk about how in the world can this man /robot /android villain and hero. How can he even be back in the first place? How does that work? Shane, how does it work? Talk to me.
Well, first off, it's not our fault that Lore isn't back like we think Lore is supposed to be back, like the trailer. So when Geordi says Lore, we all immediately go, Lore's back. Yeah. Okay, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna be like the villain? Like, is he gonna help this Vadec character? Like, is he gonna bring down the Enterprise? Or will he get a redemption arc? What's gonna happen with Lore? But then on the panel, people start joking around. And so all of a sudden, Brent Spiner's like, here's what happened. Terry Metalis is like, you're back as Lore. And Brent Spiner's like, am I? Am I back as Lore?
Come on, Brent.
Right. And then Frakes jumps in thinking he's helping, I think.
Made it worse.
And says, well, here, why don't you play it so we can get it?
Oh yeah, okay. I guess I could play that. You're right.
This is the spot, yeah.
Before Lore?
And all of a sudden, Frakes is like, I'm going to help him out. I'm going to help him. B-4 is not a cute way and Terry's over there going, Lore. I just want to kill myself right now because I can't say anything on stage.
Right. Terry's like, guys, shut up. Shut up, guys. All right, here we go.
So you're Lore, and you're back as Lore, just to catch you up.
Am I?
Yeah.
Are you? Before Lore? Yeah. Before Lore. There was before. Before is not in it. Lore is in it. Lore is in it in a very complicated way.
Yes, so B4 is not a cute way to...
Yeah, and Shane goes on to say before is not a cute way to say before. Right. Yeah, so Shane, from what I gather, the data that I have says that before Lore...
Yeah, you're right. So we all know who before is. These actors don't realize like we know, like they think I don't think they think we're idiots. No, but like for the moment, they're not going to get that I'm saying before, right? It's like supposed to be this dad joke kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. And they're acting like maybe they know something we don't. Like the name before isn't the name of the last android we saw in the last TNG movie we watched.
Right.
Like, are you joking right now? Like, these are Trekkies, bro. This isn't like, these aren't casual. First off, I don't even know if there are casual Trek fans. I think that there are two types of Star Trek fans. Rabid and not fans of Star Trek.
That's a good point. Yeah, good point. Well said.
Even people that hate current Trek are still aware of everything because they're actually, even if they dislike it, they're still like looking through everything with a fine-tooth comb. Like they're the fans of Star Trek and the most recent non-fans of Star Trek are still watching every single thing about Star Trek, including the last Hollywood released movie that featured the character B-4. Right?
Yeah.
Not crazy here.
No, you're crazy. No, you aren't crazy at all. And they just kind of give that away. So what do we know? We know that Lore was disassembled, was shut down by Data,
deactivated,
and then disassembled. Now that's officially what we know about Lore. Disassembled. Now it doesn't mean Lore was destroyed.
No, he was disassembled and taken to the Daystrom Institute. He is currently in a drawer, as far as we know. He's in a drawer somewhere at the Daystrom Institute.
Okay, but B4 is the one we saw in the drawer,
right? But didn't they say that? Oh, maybe
they didn't say a drawer. No.
So I'm sorry. Lore is in a drawer. I'm sorry. B4 is in a drawer, but yes. I also think Lore was disassembled and taken to the Daystrom Institute. Right?
I don't know if he was taken somewhere, but he was disassembled.
Maybe that's my headcanon because that's where all like the crazy tech goes.
Makes sense, but he was definitely disassembled. So when we see Lore here, we see Lore, right? But we know because of this information that has been given to us that Lore will also at some point be partially B4 in some way. So now that's why we know it's before Lore. So it's going to be a combination of the two. Now we don't know B4's positronic brain. I believe Data did a download, right?
Yes, Data. This was very clever of Rick Berman. I'll tell you right now. Or whoever wrote that Nemesis is not a good movie, by the way, in my opinion. But whoever wrote it, that section was great. They're like, look, Brent Spiner wants to leave this role. He's tired of playing Data. We want a memorable scene where we can kill off this character, but this is Star Trek, and we don't want to lose the option of having Data come back, especially considering how beloved he is.
Right.
So it was very clever to find this robot that the bad guy used to sort of infiltrate the ship, and it was like it was called B-4 because it was like the very first prototype of Data and lore.
Yes.
And it's more rudimentary, and Data was like trying to fix it, and he downloaded his positronic pathways into it to try to sort of fix how sort of generic and sort of rudimentary the lore of B-4 was. And it's genius because at the very end you have that moment where he's walking out, and the song that Data was singing at Riker's wedding in the very beginning of the movie was Blue Skies, right?
Right.
And then you hear B-4, who just learned how to whistle, whistling.
Right.
Right. And knowing that there was no connection between the two in regards to that music, meaning that the only way he can have that tune in his brain is if it was because of Data's favorite song. That was very clever.
Well, and then when you take that information, and we don't even need to say anything like that we maybe know, we can just say, well, if you take that information, then that means that at some level we have Data involved in this weird hybrid between B-4 and lore. So Data is involved somehow. And then on that panel, Marina Sirtis said something very interesting about her character of Deanna. And what she said is there's very interesting between her and the Data B-4 lore character. There's going to be a lot of interaction between her and that character in the upcoming series. Now, what is Deanna? She is a counselor.
A counselor.
So why would she have a lot of interaction with this character? Because she's trying to help this character come along. So, you know, what's going to happen? You'll have to wait and see, but use your imagination, I guess, at this point.
Yeah. And we don't want to spoil you, but
no. But I mean, we just kind of said it. So I mean,
we
just
don't gave you all the information. It's right there. Like
yeah, and we broke it down based on stuff that everybody's already said out loud.
Yeah. By the way, none of our we don't break things in our videos, even if we know it ahead of time. Like a lot of this we could have talked about before the video. Notice that we didn't put this video out until after the panel because we weren't going to put something out until after the information was publicly available because we don't want to spoil anyone.
We don't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah, we're not going to ruin it for you. Okay, so on that note, what you said, everything you said is correct. What boggles my mind is that let's say you're right, and it's like B-4's body with Lore's brain or something like that, right? Then you're talking about someone like Data's brain is also in there.
Well, because we know he was somewhat in B-4.
Right.
And B-4 and lore. So it's not a big jump to think that somehow the Data might be back at some point.
Right.
It's not a big jump. Not a big leap. Jump. And if Deanna is involved, then maybe she's the one who helps make that happen.
And on the same note, the comic books that are official, and I know we don't cover comic books or ever include them in our information. However, the official comic books in the 25th century has Data as captain of the Enterprise or a ship of some ship. I forgot. Maybe it's the Enterprise. Maybe it's another ship. I forgot. But it's
the Enterprise. No, it is. It's the Enterprise E.
Okay, so he is captain of the Enterprise E in the comic books. These are official Star Trek.
Is that canon?
It's canon according to Star Trek.
I don't know. I didn't realize that. Really? No, it's not canonical until it's on. I don't know. I don't think it's canonical till it's on TV. But okay.
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I bet you though, it could be argued that it is canonical. And things have happened in comic books that we've seen in Picard. Like we've seen references to things that happened in comic books. So
That's true. That is true.
I don't know, but it's going to be rad either way. It's going to be a really great story to watch. And if you're a fan of Brent Spiner's Data lore or any of that mythology, lore, no pun intended. Go ahead.
Well, Data can't be the captain of the Enterprise E because we're getting the Enterprise F, which we will be talking about soon.
Oh, that's true. Are you sure it was the E then?
Yeah, it's the E. He takes over. He takes over after because Riker goes to the Titan, and Picard retires.
So how in the world? What? Why would you make it the E that takes place so quickly after Nemesis? Like, you wrote this comic book a few years ago. You know,
well, the E happened after Generations because we lost the D.
No, I'm talking as a writer of the comic books. You wrote this comic book knowing that Data was dead, or maybe I need to read more of the comic books. Maybe
you need to read more because I don't think Data dies in the comic books,
but he died in the movies.
Right.
Okay, that's stupid. Don't do that.
This is why it's not canonical.
All right. That's dumb. That bothers me. Or maybe it's actually before, like maybe Data's brain took over or something.
There could be some sort of combination. Yeah. They might have continued that what you just talked about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, that's what we know so far. It's going to be great. We're going to be stoked. And if you're a fan of Star Trek lore, no pun intended, you're going to love this season, I believe, because we get a lot. According to Brent Spiner and IMDb, it looks like he's in almost every episode of that series. So that's going to be great.
Yes.
Okay, guys, that's it. Hit that comment section. On the way down there, please hit the subscribe button because there is a drastically small amount of you that watch these videos that are not subscribed. Thank you.
Thank you. How's everybody doing over here?
Blue sky.
B-4 has Data's Katra. I like that. Hiroshi. Just like McCoy had Spock's Katra.
Bones had Spock's, yeah. Hey, someone tell me, guys, do you guys see this connection? I had to explain it to Shane. Guys, I'm going to play this, okay? Please tell me if you, at the end of this little intro trailer, if you hear what I did.
We're all gonna die.
Time offers many opportunities. It rarely offers second chances. The true final frontier is time.
When the star,
you guys heard that? Please tell me you heard that.
So I didn't hear it the first time, and honestly, I didn't. It's something that didn't stick with me. It's been a long time since I saw the last Star Trek movie, and since I don't like it very much, I don't watch it very frequently. But I thought that was cool that you added that.
Yeah. So I didn't even like the Blue Sky song. You guys heard it. Thank you. Thank God. All right.
Yeah, because he asked me, like, did you get it? I'm like, what do you
understand? About? I spent hours remaking that song, hours to try to get it to match appropriately. And after remaking it into a cinematic classical song I can use that would match my trailer music, I got copyright claimed. I made it, got copyright claimed. So I had to go back and rework it to match to have more of an ominous tone so that I can avoid the copyright claim, but you can still hear the dun dun dun. dun.
Well, kudos because you nailed it.
Hours. But
he's got your back.
After I watched it, thank you guys, thank you. After I watched it, dude, and the lore reveal, I was like, this is the most genius thing in the history of YouTube. And then I showed it to you, and you're like, yeah, it's pretty good, bro. I'm like, God damn it.
Well, but see, I wasn't. Yeah,
I got it.
You edit a lot of video that you watched it, and I hadn't put the two together in a while. So
yeah, that song is so specific to Data, like it's so, and not just in the movie, but he also played that song. Remember on the instrument. in the series. Trombone or trumpet or something he was playing? I forgot what it was. Flute, clarinet. Forgot. He was playing something and he played Blue Skies.
He played a lot of things. It was what's his name? Riker had the trumpet.
Right. No, trombone.
Whatever. Yeah.
I know. I actually played trombone because Riker was a ladies' man. When I was in junior high, I picked trombone. And then I realized this is the stupidest instrument in the history of instruments.
Yeah. I played the rest.
But it hurt my mouth. My lips were swollen like this, like for days. I did an entire semester of trombone until I realized like this is the wrong instrument for me.
You couldn't get a hold of the Resican flute, I guess.
And anyone that ever starts doing trumpet immediately does a. That's like, and after like the fourth.
What else is there to do?
There's
like,
there's nothing.
Only thing to do on a trumpet.
There's nothing else to do but the slide tone, bro.
Right. Yeah.
So I ended up switching over to percussion, and I ended up doing no, like drums, jazz drums, and all that.
Yeah.
I ended up doing that for years. I finished high school doing drums, and then ended up playing drums in a band. I've been playing drums for literally 30 years now. So I found my instrument, that's for sure.
Yeah, I got one lesson on the guitar, and the guy said, "Yeah, I'm never coming back again." He never showed up again.
That's funny. I paid for a lesson on guitar, and the guy gave me my money back.
He's like, "This is going to be too difficult."
Yeah. So this guy was doing guitar lessons for $40 a pop at a Sam Ash. If you guys don't know what that is, it's like a music store. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to be one of those musicians that can play I want to play drums, bass, guitar, all that, right? Because I can play a little piano because it's a percussion. If it's a percussion instrument, I can play it at the very least to the basics. I wanted to be like the ultimate musician. And I was like 23, 24, and I was really into my band. And
you know what the guy said to you? He said, "Sir, you play that with your fingers. I can never do that."
I sat down, and first off, I'm right-handed, and I had my right hand on the frets, so I'm this way, so it's backwards. Also, when he told me to turn around, I turned it around and faced it to me. I was like, "I don't know how you play it this way." He goes, "Listen, man, I've never had to tell anyone how to hold a guitar. This is not for you." And he gave me my $40 back.
That's great. Yeah, the recorder, dude. That's the only instrument I ever played, and I could play some.
I can still.
Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah,
I could play some Mary Had a Little. We called it a flutophone. It wasn't a recorder yet. That was before recorder. Flutophone. Yeah,
you're showing your age. It's been a recorder since I can remember. So.
Yeah, I'm a lot older than you. So.
Yes, you are. Yes, he is. All right, let's talk about the next thing. Hey, you know what? Members, I'm going to throw the Blue Skies cinematic version that I made. I'm going to throw it up for your download. I tried to put it on SoundCloud, and it was denied because of copyright claim. I tried to put it on YouTube, and the copyright claim got it. So they're taking the tone that I made for it, and they're saying that it's a claim song. So I can't put it into a regular place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a link. It'll be like a Popcast download link just for you guys. But it's great. Nice. It's like a 2-minute song. It's 1.5 minutes, whatever. But it's basically the Blue Skies song. If Blue Skies was a trailer song, and it's to me, I love it. It's gorgeous.
It is beautiful. Thank you for doing that for the members.
Yeah, I'll do that for you guys.
So Archmage says he's 35, and we called it a flutophone. Nice. Maybe it's like regional.
Oh, maybe it is. I mean,
did you grow up in a trailer park in Bakersfield, Archmage? Because that's where I was.
To be honest, a flutophone actually makes more sense.
It does, right? Recorder, what?
Like, why is it? Why I always thought recorder didn't work. Like, why would it call? Yeah, why would they call it a recorder?
I don't know why it's a phone, but
makes sense actually. Yeah.
Just call it a flute.
Yeah, trombone didn't work for me though. Neither did trumpet. I tried every instrument, by the way, and I tried the clarinet. And I looked around. I was like, "There's nothing but little Asian women here. This is not for me." And I left immediately.
Well, yeah, I literally said band. I'm playing football. See ya.
Yeah, difference in me and Shane. Shane was like, "Band? No."
Yeah, that was it.
Someone said, "Did it improve my other oral activities?" No, it didn't.
I hope not.
Anyone that says like they got girls because they were in band are probably lying.
No, but you did get girls later when you started actual bands and became famous. Like,
well, I mean, I didn't even get famous. And yes, later on when I was playing like Liquid Lounge in a rock band, it was like fish in a barrel, dude.
Yeah.
In fact, one reason I stopped playing with my band was because I got married and it was just too difficult to include the two. All right. And I'm not even mad because they didn't go on to do anything special anyways. I'm not lying. They actually did. They actually made some money and I wasn't there. It's actually very upsetting. I don't want to talk about it. All right.
And moving on.
Let's talk about we're going to talk about She-Hulk now. Sweet. She-Hulk.
Archmage grew up in New York, so that isn't it. Chris was in the Midwest. You could argue that Bakersfield is kind of like the Midwest, I think. Yeah.
I saw the Werewolf by Night trailer. Oh, that trailer looks so stupid. What are they thinking? And you know what's funny is like right when I started to think like the MCU is not working, I didn't see the end of She-Hulk and I'm like, oh, makes sense.
I don't think that's fair. No. You think that the ending of She-Hulk explained why the MCU is not working?
No. I think that the ending of She-Hulk, while it was clever, it was not remotely appropriate to the MCU.
Right.
And what happens is I don't think, like, I appreciate the jabs at Kevin Feige, but I don't think that it's conducive to the whole health of the Marvel Cinematic Universe to have writers that complain about having to talk to each other about their projects.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
All right. We are talking about She-Hulk, season 1, episode 9, or like what I like to call the final episode, because there will probably not be a season 2 of this show. So this is now no longer the season finale. We're going to call it the series finale for She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
You don't think it'll get a season 2, huh?
I don't know, man. I don't know. They went out of their way to reduce Kevin Feige to a computer robot AI or whatever.
Well, maybe reduce, or maybe it's a compliment.
I don't know. But we're talking about it because that's what we do. We talk about stuff we don't want to talk about every week. I'm kidding.
Oh. We talk about stuff we want to talk about too.
No. So one thing though, and,
love this intro.
Yes, if I was gonna if we had downvotes and upvotes, this would be a total upvote because the intro is it reminds me of like $6 Million Man or
no, it's a play on the original Incredible Hulk TV show, and it's exactly that.
I was gonna get there, but you interrupted me.
Well, you can't say $6 Million Man.
I was gonna end with the Incredible Hulk original TV show. Then I was gonna say because that's pretty much what it is. But
no, it is what it is. They use the exact same scenes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and I love like everything about this was very fitting to what they were trying to talk about, and then they had like the old computer, and it's just very, very, very clever the way they did this. And she freaks out, and
throwing tables, right? I love throwing the tables,
right? The savage She-Hulk.
So great when she turned her head, just like in Bruce Banner, in the original. I just totally drew a blank on his name, but just like in the original TV series, they
Lou
matched
Ferrigno?
it with no, it wasn't Lou Ferrigno. Well, Lou Ferrigno played the Hulk. I'm talking about the guy who played Bruce Banner, not the Hulk, but I can't remember his name right now.
Yeah.
But she was having a dream, and it was nice. It was well done.
Very well done. And then she went in jail. Now, why is she in the Super Hulk jail? Because Doomcock last episode released her sex tape at what I am assuming is the Lawyer Grammys. And then Doomcock got on screen and said that she was a slut. So she got mad and she tried to punch her way through the studio, which she did as the Hulk. And then everyone thinks she's big scary Hulk now. And so she has to go to Hulk jail because she did all these damage. And, and she actually has a good point. Like, why am I getting in trouble when other people get, it was an appropriate response. People get mad all the time and they don't get in trouble. Well, you're the Hulk. That's why.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Or was the message that you're a girl?
No, that's
the underlying message. Do you think the underlying message was this wouldn't have happened to Bruce? This, how many times did the Abomination have to do something terrible, break things before he got locked up? I don't know.
Just that one movie. So no, I don't think it works because it happened to Abomination first. I don't think it's because she's a woman.
Well, what I'm trying to say is not because she's a woman, but bad things happen to her because of her situation, and she doesn't deserve to be the Hulk. You know what I'm saying? You don't think that was undertone? I thought maybe it was.
I don't think it was. I'm sorry, Doomcock. Can I have my brother back, please?
I wasn't Doomcock.
With you.
I'm simply saying I think that there's that undertone is here. Like she doesn't deserve to be there, but she's there because she's She-Hulk.
Yeah. So I do think people are afraid of the Hulk, Abomination, like those kind of characters, and like when they lose control. I don't know. She did sort of lose control.
First incident. It's weird.
Right, it is one incident, and
it's one incident,
and no one died.
One wall,
and no one died.
No one died. She went through a wall. It's just like overreaction, and that's what I'm saying. Is the whole show has been basically like this weird overreaction because it's She-Hulk as opposed to other superheroes, and so I thought that it just kind of lines up with the whole thing. Maybe.
Was it? It looked like
now she's never allowed to Hulk out again.
Bionic Woman's another one of those shows. They had the similar like.
Oh yeah, the style.
All right. So she has to wear. She's not allowed to Hulk out. She can leave, but they have put this inhibitor on her. Which now there's one thing. Didn't Mark Ruffalo at the very beginning of this series say that he was using the inhibitor he made, but it only would work for him?
Right.
So that's actually like a major problem because it only works for him, yet Abomination had one.
Right.
Also. Right. And now she has one. So.
Right.
Well, you guys figured out that technology really quick.
Well, that was a mistake. Well, because they're supposed to show us, but the show's only like 5 minutes long. So unfortunately, they didn't have time to show us. They just had to do it.
Maybe he should have not said it was even for him.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Right.
But they wrote that back in episode 1. Sorry.
That's it. It was so long ago. Oh, actually, it was like 4 hours ago. Okay, got it. All right. All right. So she gets released to her parents. She's fired from her job.
I love what her parents say. People go to jail every day.
No, prison every day.
Or prison, right?
Yeah. Which is even more ridiculous. Like there are a lot more people that go to jail because you can go to jail from being drunk. Right? You can go into the drunk tank for a night, but prison is like where you go permanently, not permanently. I'm sorry, semi-permanently, as in like you've already been tried, and like jail is where you're at while you're waiting to be for court. Yeah,
it's just a parent thing to say, trying to make your kid feel better.
It's funny though. Her parents are hilarious.
Yeah,
her assistant said she's not leaving because they pay her nicely, but And now here comes the media thing. Oh, she's so bad. She's horrible, savage She-Hulk because she got mad. It was one time after being so far a service for good, and now she gets mad and breaks a wall, and now she's horrible. This was all super unbelievable, by the way. So she shouldn't have been arrested. No one got hurt, and why is all the focus on her and not on the Doomcock character that released revenge porn at the Lawyer Grammys?
Because everyone is against She-Hulk.
Makes no sense.
I'm with you.
Plus, I'm actually very upset that Hulk King was not wearing his Doomcock mask at the end of the series.
Right.
Yeah,
Gallagate.
Gallagate. Blah, blah, blah. Reporters. And she's got to leave her place because she can't afford it anymore. A lot of this is happening like really fast, too. Like,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they got to get through it. They only get 4.5 minutes to tell the whole thing.
The time, every time you say a time, it's less and less and less.
Yeah. I like the dad's comment. Chris was saying here, the dad's comment about there being a drought. I don't care if there's a drought. I got pressure.
Right.
He's spraying the people. That was good.
It's funny. The lawyer has the Aaron Brockovich poster. That's like that. Her whole room is like basic lady lawyer room.
Yeah, appropriate.
Yeah, appropriate. She's trying to find out. She wants to sue the creator of Intelligentsia. So she needs to find out who it is, but it's hard to find because it's going through shell companies. Look, it's a website. You can register a website anywhere on the planet. You can host a server anywhere. In fact, if the server is hosted in the Netherlands, you can't even legally ask who owns the server. You can't even legally ask where the server is located. Like, you can look it up with geotags, but it can go to a server farm somewhere in the middle of the Netherlands that 4 million people rent servers from, and they will not give you the information. They're like the Swiss of the internet.
Right.
Just to be clear, the Pirate Bay ran for over a decade out of the Netherlands without any legal repercussions. And the only way they were finally able to shut it down was by illegally raiding the warehouse that had the servers and stealing the servers. They actually broke like 15 Netherlands laws to shut down the Pirate Bay.
And that's how powerful Hollywood is.
And by the way, did anyone get in trouble for that? No. In fact, the only people that got in trouble were the owners of Pirate Bay, and they were tried for actual pirating.
Nice.
They were tried for modern day, I'm going to get on a boat and steal your boat pirating.
Did they have to walk the plank?
No, a couple of them are still in jail. You guys should watch that movie. That
was funny.
Movie is called AFK. It is funny. Yes. They walked the proverbial plank. They made no money on that thing.
Thank you. They weren't keelhauled, though. That's nice.
Yeah, they were not. Okay, so, she's trying to figure out this website. Her mom is interrupting her. Typical blah, 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 whatever stuff. So she needs a mental...
Breaking the fourth wall.
What's that?
She's breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, yeah.
She starts saying, is this show working for you guys? Is this working for you guys?
Right. So she's constantly doing that. Yeah. What's interesting is she does text her cousin the Hulk, and in her phone it's called Smug Hulk, which I think is funny.
That's funny.
Hey, what are you up to? He doesn't answer because he's in space or whatever. And she texts. How do you say that word? How do you say the word? How do you say that word?
Texted?
Plural. She texted. Yeah.
Texts. Yeah.
She texted Emil Blonsky, a.k.a. the Abomination, but it is not delivered, which means he's not looking at his phone. But he did offer that she can go to his ranch or compound.
We don't talk about compounds here because Emil could be a cult leader. Could be. And all you members know what we're talking about. The inside jokes galore.
Oh, man, I remember.
We've been having a lot of them lately.
She's going to the compound and to get a mental health break. Her former assistant uploads her dancing like a clueless idiot in college to Intelligentsia. I gotta be honest, I would have known that was a fake headline the second I saw it. Like, it should have been like stupid slut or something like that.
They're trying to lay back a little bit.
Are they?
Yeah. Kids are watching this. Remember, we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
They got my message.
Yeah, they got your message. I mean, all I'm saying is I peruse Reddit sometimes, and like this is the wrong headline. All I'm saying.
Reddit, yeah.
And she immediately gets a response from someone inviting her to a physical meet and greet, like immediately, and she says, "Well, that was easy," because it was
actually. This is really funny. Yeah.
Am I a genius?
She says, or am I a genius? This character is actually pretty good.
Yeah. And she gets the message and it says, can't wait to see you here, bro. And so she's like, I need to get Pug's help because she's not a bro. Now, first of my problems, like, I hate that they all talk the way we talk. Like, all the bad guys just talk like us.
Yeah. Well, that's because our community is the bad guys.
But I'm not a bad guy, okay? Okay, bro?
I know that.
I'm not a
I know
bad
that,
guy,
but
bro.
you know what? They don't know that. You know that. I know that. Our fans know that. The people who watch us know that. Other people in our community know that. But the people who write this show don't know that.
They think we're the bad guys.
Right.
And we're just mad that there's a woman Hulk.
Why is there a woman? Why? How come women didn't earn anything? I mean, come on, guys. I mean, you're punching down, and that's my. If I had a downvote thing, it'd be like that. You're punching down at a YouTube community. Listen, you're in Hollywood. You're a Marvel show. Come on, grow up.
To be fair, I think that they're punching wildly all around them because they also punch up at their own boss pretty soon.
But I don't know if they're punching up at him. But yeah, we'll see.
He's reading a book by Emil. It's called Deep Haikus. So fitting to this guy.
That's pretty funny.
And so Pug and the assistant go to their first meeting. Pug is wearing, I like this. She goes, put your Bluetooth on. He goes, isn't it? People going to think it's weird that I have a Bluetooth? He goes, trust me. You're going to fit right in because like apparently bros just walk around with Bluetooths on.
With you, yeah.
I mean, I guess that sort of makes sense. I do wear my Bluetooth around my neck all the time. But
I don't use a Bluetooth, but I'm old, so.
Right. So he goes in. Big men dream big. It's like a men's support group, and it's all about like think big, dream big. I feel like
this is a meetup. This is a meetup,
right? Well, I mean, but it reminds me of either reminds me of like a men's support group or like one of those Tony Robbins conferences or someone trying to sell a crypto called like, not a scam, notascam.com or whatever.
Right.
Or a crypto called, it's like the actual name of the crypto is called rug pull. You know what I mean? Like, this is one of those. A rug pull is when you rob someone on the crypto, by the way.
And look there's what they're doing here. They're taking a shot at YouTubers who have complaints about the way Marvel has kind of ladyized the MCU, I guess is what you call it. I don't. Yeah, I mean there is a lot of it out there. And what I thought was really bad about this was they start out with the first guy that you see actually says, I'm not saying that women can't be blah, 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 but I'm just saying they can't be, and you notice when we talk about a lot of this stuff, we try to be very careful about, look, we're not saying anything bad about this or that, whether it's the LGBTQ community or ladies doing this or whatever. We're just saying, what we're saying something else. We're saying that they didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. We criticize, whenever we criticize something, it's not based on the color of someone's skin, their sexuality, or anything like that. It's always based on the actual show, the writing. Does it make sense? Does that character work? Is it annoying?
Right.
Is it too emotional? Like this guy says, too many emotions. Is the character likable? Is what that person doing even making sense? Right. But it's always reduced down to they don't like Michael Burnham because she's African American.
Right. Or she's a woman. And the problem is that's not what we're saying. And they make fun of us saying that here. They make fun of the people in our community saying that. I'm not saying. So these people don't watch our videos. Honestly, these writers aren't watching our videos. They're just making fun of these snippets that they get. They don't really understand what we're trying to say. What we're trying to say is, if you just replace a male character with a female character, then that's not the right way to do it. Create a new character. Don't make them something better. She-Hulk is an actual character in the comics, and it makes total sense to have her. There's no reason for you to punch down. So this could have been an incredible episode with like really smart and like creative writing and everything happening here. But then you got to like punch down at people who are criticizing Marvel, not even She-Hulk necessarily. She-Hulk got criticized for having bad graphics, not because there's a girl Hulk. Okay, nobody did that.
Right.
Nobody. Right. But no, that's what they're doing. They're attacking it like that's what happened. That's not what happened. Okay. Now when they brought in what's her name? Brie to do the Marvel stuff. I think that's where a lot of this is coming from, the Brie Larson stuff.
Well, yeah, okay, so you brought in a character that an actress to play a character that was completely unnecessary, and then you pigeonhole or shoehorn that movie in between $2 billion movies. You equate the success of that movie to the movie itself and not the fact that it's between Infinity War and Endgame, the biggest cliffhanger movie franchise ending of a franchise ever. And then that same actress is mad that people are saying, hey, well, that movie didn't deserve $1 billion. Right, this movie wasn't very good. And she actively, before the movie even comes out, she's actively attacking fans for being men or being sexist or being racist.
Well, she didn't want she didn't want men. She didn't want men to be men media members out there or they had to be of color or women.
Right. She
or
said
they couldn't interview her. So there was a lot of problems.
Yeah. White guys couldn't interview her.
Yes. That's what it was.
That is so unbelievably racist. Do you understand? Imagine if that was a reverse statement.
Well, and sexist.
Sexist in every way. Yeah. Imagine only white women can interview me. Or whatever. Women. I'm sorry. What if only white? It's so dumb and reductive and insulting that her movie was DOA before it even came out because the actress cannot stop putting her uneducated foot in her mouth. And then when the movie comes out and we watch it and we review it as it is, and we're like, well, it's not very good. It adds nothing to the story. It doesn't add anything to the MCU. It's completely unnecessary. In fact, I would argue if you took the character scenes out of Endgame of Captain Marvel, it would change nothing. Nothing would be changed. You added a character to check some boxes before your big movie, and then you're mad when you got called out about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Chris actually makes a good point here. Not really directed towards us. This wasn't really directed towards our content per se, because we don't really delve into this kind of thing a whole lot. But there's a lot of people in our community, I think, that do say, look, it's not earned. Some of the comments in there were stuff I could totally see Gary saying, or even, Doomcock, he probably says some things he shouldn't say.
Right.
But, but there's people out there who don't go to that level, like Gary from Nerdrotic, I would say is one. I would say the Quartering, Jeremy, these are guys this is who they're targeting, these guys, really.
The Quartering is very careful, though.
But I understand, but that's who they're talking about right now, for real.
Right.
Like everybody that points out these types of things all the time, that's who these guys are. And I'm just like, it frustrates me that did they need to do this? Like the entire bad guy for the entire series, were the real bad guy. It wasn't like somebody trying to use her superhero powers to do something like would typically for a superhero. It was a bunch of dude YouTubers that wanted to bring her down. That was the bad guy for the whole series, for the whole season 1, Brian. Mm. The bad guy was a bunch of YouTubers talking crap about She-Hulk that wanted to get her blood. And I mean, that's what it was.
Right. It was literally a bunch of YouTubers trying to get her blood.
It's a bunch of YouTubers. That's what your bad guy is.
Chris says, complaints is kind of nice to say, and they were directed to you guys. That's why you guys rock. But there are lots of those who don't. And you're right. Yeah. I mean, there are a-holes out there. That's true.
Oh, yeah, no, 100% true. Yeah, there are. But
on both sides, and I don't want to. I hate to be that guy, but on both sides there are a-holes here. I'm just saying you're generalizing an entire group.
But there's not a lot of big YouTubers that are jerks. You know what I'm saying? Not that I can think of off the top of my head. That are. I mean, okay, let's just be honest. Doomcock kind of says some things he shouldn't say.
Right, he does. Yeah.
He does. So I get that. But he's not like a representative of all the YouTubers.
No.
You know what I mean? Plus, or dudes that don't.
Plus, I think he's playing a character. like an actual character.
Right.
Like
Well,
he's the heel, right?
He's mad right now that this dude is Doomcock.
Right. He's like, why is this soy boy Doomcock? Should have been a really buff guy.
Right.
You know, it's me, but I'm pretty sure. I think his whole stick is that he plays like the villain. Like he plays the heel, like in wrestling. You know?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Hail Doomcock.
No, we don't. Hail Doomcock. I don't agree with the stuff he said.
No,
honestly.
we don't agree with most of it.
I mean, we have fun with it, but you know, I think that I don't know. I don't like that they did this. I don't feel like it was an appropriate. They're trying to make a social statement on this show, and they had a pretty clever thing going here. Just make it a cool superhero show with a female lawyer, because frankly speaking, Tatiana Maslany was great this season.
Yeah, she is great.
She's great.
Oh,
here.
there was this moment at the end where she was like, something about you want to bring in Daredevil or whatever, and she's like,
yeah,
I smashed that or whatever.
Right. I mean, she was great, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, they just didn't have to go this route.
To be honest, though, Lady Thor didn't make sense if you were replacing Thor. But the way they did it, the way they did it made complete sense.
It did. Well, they followed the comics.
Well, no.
In the end.
Yeah, so they sort of followed the comic books. They actually pulled out of the tailspin that the comics had when they tried to replace Thor.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is they sent her to, she dies.
Right.
But Jane dies.
Alert.
But hopefully you've seen the dang thing. But honestly, a lot of the things that the people in the community were upset about, that when Phase 4 was coming, they're like, oh my gosh, they're replacing all of the male superheroes with women. There was a fear of that. That's true. Because that wouldn't have been cool to like just change everybody, but you had everything was going to be focused on Supergirl, Batgirl, Lady Thor, whatever, Lady Loki. I don't know why you'd have a Lady Loki. Loki's already like,
you slipped DC in there for a second because they were doing that for DC too. They were trying to replace Batman with Batman and Superman with the women counterparts. Yeah.
But all those things were happening. But Lady Loki makes no sense because Loki's like already half lady, right? I'm pretty sure. Anyways, so
Jane
were
doesn't like the Loki series, by the way.
I mean, I heard it's great, but I haven't watched it. So
why do you always dog on Loki though? You always make fun of that guy. Is it because you don't like the actor?
I like Loki. I like him.
You always take shots at that guy.
You think so?
You do. I all the time. It's like you somehow always have something to complain about with Loki.
I liked that he sacrificed himself.
Okay.
He redeemed himself to me.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. But I didn't see the series, so I don't know. But so I just feel like they're trying to say something here, and they took a kind of what could have been a cool show, and I don't know.
All right. So anyways, back to the YouTuber meetup. So it does remind me, by the way, of like one of those like men conferences at the Hillsong Church or something like that. Like
Sure.
all these posters like today is the day, or maybe like an AA meeting, you know?
Yeah.
You never gone to any of those things. You never been to an AA meeting?
I have.
Okay.
Oh, I have. Yeah.
So
I've been to them.
It has that same vibe. It's like, you are powerful. You are men. Take control of your household and seize the future. You're like, okay, Ted. Okay.
Yeah, it's a cult activity. I get it.
Right. At the compound.
At the compound.
Yeah, so she wants to talk to Abomination, but apparently he's in a barn, in the barn or something. It's funny, like the second he said that, I'm like, oh, so he's a part of it or whatever. But he wasn't actually part of it. Yeah, he was getting paid to like speak, right?
You're like, oh, here we go. Got those put together.
Right. She says, be powerful.
Okay. I mean, it's funny, I guess. Be fun. I don't know.
Yeah, they should have given Abomination like a man bun. It would have been hilarious. Like Tony Robbins. All right, so he's like gonna give a speech. Apparently he was paid to give a speech. Or whatever. I don't know. And boom, Jen walks in.
So this was all kind of very interesting, the way they did this. Like, nobody was really outraged. Jen's not outraged. Abomination's not outraged. The guys aren't even really that outraged.
Right.
It's kind of like this whole weird, like, what's going on here? Right. And then Tim Tim here feels guilty. Well, I was getting paid, and it's just kind of
right
funky.
Yeah,
right? How would you describe it?
Yeah, it's weird. So it was messy. This is
Yeah.
great because around this time, I'm like, this is sort of messy. Like, how are they going to tighten this up and clean it up? And then it just continues to get more and more
It gets
messy.
worse. Yeah, it gets more like, okay, now why are you here? And
right, it gets messier and messier and messier. He said, "Oh, we stole your blood while you were sleeping, and I made myself a Super Hulk serum." And you're like, wait a minute, what? Like, wait, so you can just like, I thought that the Hulk had to be like specifically a certain. That the reason why it works for her is because she's related to the original Hulk. Like,
is that why?
Right, because so the
I didn't know that.
the Hulk blood is not anyone can be the Hulk. Like it's very unique type of physiology that can transform like this and not just die of gamma radiation. Yeah.
Are you just saying that, or is that
no? That's true. So
is that a comic book thing?
Yeah. So not anyone that gets blasted with gamma rays are gonna become the Hulk. Some of them just die of radiation sickness. But
I got it. So she became the Hulk, and this is something I didn't know. She became the Hulk because she was related to Bruce.
Right. She has the same unique setup.
They did not say that.
I don't know. Maybe they didn't. I don't know.
I don't remember that. Or maybe they did. I didn't catch it.
I do love this though. Like the guy goes to attack her, and the Abomination actually picks her up. And
yeah, that was interesting. Like he saves her.
Right. But then the Hulk comes in. You're like, okay, so this is a mess. And in my mind, right here, I was like, this is a horrible ending to a show that was trying to be ultra clever. And I thought that,
you did? I didn't think that.
I thought they're trying to do this like classic. I actually thought they're trying to do this classic superhero ending or whatever, where all these weird surprise fights and CGI fights and whatever. And I'm like, this is not working. And
so I thought,
go ahead.
So my thinking was when this happened that it was going to end up funny somehow. Like I didn't think it was. They could have ended this. I get what they did here, and it's clever, but they could have ended it funny somehow with Bruce coming in to be comic relief. That's what I thought was coming.
You're right. They could have done something. But what's funny to me is that while this was happening, I literally in my mind said, "What is even happening here?" And then the character says it. And when the character says it, Tatiana was there. Like everyone.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah. So when Tatiana was there, I'm like, okay, what the heck? That's when I'm like, what are they doing here?
Makes no sense.
Titania.
Right.
Yeah.
And then this was great. Hopefully I don't get copyright claimed here.
This is super clever. I got to tell you, they deserve huge kudos for doing this.
Yeah, this would be a huge upvote. Like we've been complaining about this show for every episode now, pretty much. But like this was.
The creativity of the show is good.
What's that?
But the creativity of the show is good. The story is where I think they've made some mistakes. But like the actual like creativity of the show reflects the comics and breaking the fourth wall and a lot of this type of stuff, and they really took it to kind of another level. But they just, they just couldn't not have social commentary, and that bothers me.
Right. Yeah. So she even asks, "Is this working for you?" And then it pops out to the screen, which coincidentally is like the Roku screen, the same my Samsung screen. Yeah.
See, I thought it looked like the Disney Plus screen.
No, this is maybe it does. I use Roku, and this is exactly what my Roku looks like.
Okay,
exact.
Well, you can't see it, but she's going to pop out behind you.
Yeah, so she pops out of her own screen here.
Behind you, yeah.
What, Jude?
There she is.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all cool. It's super clever. I can't play the whole thing.
And then she actually kicks in. I wanted to see which one she kicked in because I missed it.
It was Avengers Assembled.
Okay, because it was next to Loki. I remember that.
Yeah, so it's like the behind the scenes of Avengers.
Is that what that is? Okay, yeah. Cool. Well, that was really clever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
clever.
Kudos to the creators for that.
Yeah, that's super clever. All right, now she's in there, and she's got to go. And Avengers Assemble, that's where you find the writers, and that's where you find Kevin Feige's office. Pretty much,
they're literally, they're in the studio lot here.
Right. So like, if she exists in her own universe, And she breaks the fourth wall to talk to us. Now she physically broke the fourth wall, and now she's in our world.
Yes. Well done.
Very clever. Very clever.
Very well done. And nobody freaks out about it, which I think is hilarious.
Right. And
all kind of treat.
She's in the writing room, the She-Hulk writing room. Oh man, I want to see a version of this with Terry Metellus being like, okay, well, we're gonna bring the whole crew of Star Trek: The Next Generation back. I'm assuming this is what all writers' rooms look like, just like a group of people throwing ideas at the wall, you know?
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
So she starts complaining, like, oh, the guy steals my blood to get superpowers, blah, blah. She starts complaining about how the series is ending. And they basically are saying, like, this is the formula. This is, like, how we do things. And when she says this is what the story that Kevin wants, I knew she was talking about Kevin Feige, but the subtitles gave me the acronym, and it actually sort of spoiled it for me. Because that's what
the KEF. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
As soon as they did that, I went, oh, wait a second. That's not the Kevin Feige we're thinking of.
Right.
Yeah.
And then no one talks to Kevin.
Yeah.
That's funny. And she's going to go talk to Kevin. And this guy looks like Tom Constantino, by the way.
But Tom would have a better job than that.
But Tom would have a better job. It sort of looks like Tom. The guy,
a little bit, yeah.
Our friend from the Orville. She has to sign non-disclosure, security.
I love that. I love the whole NDA thing because everybody's always complaining about NDAs.
Yeah, we have to sign an NDA just to like talk to someone loosely, an actor that happened to be on the series that, you know.
Yeah.
And she goes into Feige's office, and yes, it's MODOK, basically. MODOK. Yeah, Kevin is like the computer from Portal, or, you know, he's an AI. It stands for something.
I know that I believe that Kevin, I don't think they were punching up.
No? I think
Kevin Feige thinks this is hilarious. I think that Kevin is saying absolutely yes all the way on this. Because because the whole point of She-Hulk was, and this is what Jennifer is saying. Jennifer Walters is this, and the title of the episode, whose show is this? Right? She-Hulk attorney at law. They don't want it to be just a regular superhero story. They want it to be different. And that's, I think, what they're talking about here. Not that all that stuff is bad.
Right.
It's just not for She-Hulk.
Right. But I think that they did amp up the silliness in order to get you to feel the same way before she made that breakthrough, literally and figuratively.
You have to, I think, to some degree. But I don't think any of the way Marvel's done their stuff is ridiculous or wrong.
Well, I mean, did you see the end of Shang-Chi?
Yes, I did. I like that movie.
Okay.
I mean, I enjoyed it.
How about the only good part of the Eternals was the very, very end, which also doesn't actually make a lot of sense, but at least it makes other movies better. But like, of course, like that would be a planetary issue. Like they ignore some things in order to have these big endings. And I would argue that even though Ant-Man makes less money, their smaller endings feel more intimate and feel more realistic, even though it's a superhero movie.
I mean, it's hard, you know, because you had Endgame, and it's like, how are you supposed to follow that up? You know, look at Thor: Love and Thunder. You know, the consequences. If the universe is not in danger in all these movies, then it's kind of a letdown. So maybe that's what they're talking about, and maybe they all agree with that, and there needs to be some sort of a reset.
Well, maybe because you've set yourself up that way, though. Like,
well, I mean, Endgame. What do you do? Like, you have to have Endgame.
Right. Okay. So yes, and Endgame was, honestly, I don't expect there to ever be a movie like it. But you don't have to follow that up with the next. And I said this when we complained about Discovery. Why is it every season the universe is ending? You need to focus on the characters more. Make the story about the characters. Ant-Man, for 2 successful movies, in my opinion, did that. They were personal stories. They didn't make as much money, but you can build up to it still.
I think Eternals is a little bit underrated, honestly.
I didn't like any of the characters.
I watched it again recently. It's not bad.
Really?
It's not bad. I kind of like it, and it's got some Earth history in it, which I kind of like. And it's got a plot twist.
That's fair.
It's not bad.
I didn't like any of the characters really.
It's got Angelina Jolie in it, and that's what everybody's like. Okay, great.
Well, no, hold up. That's not fair, because when I saw Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek in the same movie, I was like, instant watch.
Yeah, but that's your little guy talking. It's not your I love superhero movies guy talking. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, yeah, I get you.
My
right?
little guy also loves superhero movies, just so you guys know. Okay.
Especially ones with the girls who are, well endowed.
No, those I actually think we didn't get enough of them. We got so much of the character that we were just introduced to by the actress that probably didn't have the chops to pull it off. Right? She felt very timid, and we didn't. That
was trouble, yeah.
Right. We didn't get enough in that movie. I know we're talking about the movie, but we didn't get enough of the big personality characters, like I'm forgetting his name right now, but the Indian guy.
Oh yeah, well, he was like flavoring though for that movie.
Okay, all right.
Nanjiani would have been too much to run him full time on that one. The problem is that you're right. The girl that played the role was the tough one. But anyways, let's talk She-Hulk because
yeah, my bad. I don't think every movie has to have an ending event like this. I think that you need to make a group of personal, low stakes movies to flesh out the characters before you throw them into a galactic ending event.
Fair enough.
Which is why I don't like Captain Marvel, by the way. FYI.
Well,
same reason. She just got thrown into a galactic ending event immediately.
Well, it was she was shoehorned in, and that was the problem with it.
Right.
She didn't get her, before Avengers movies, really.
Right. Yeah. There was no time to even like learn about her or learn to like her. Anyways. And I don't want to keep
taking it someplace, but Peacemaker is a great example of a world-ending event or a universe-ending, world-ending event that ended and was still great. So you can have those,
right,
and still be good.
Yeah, and still have character. Like you saw in that one season of Peacemaker, he grew so much.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great example, Shane. My God, what a great example it is.
And I think Jennifer Walters is a good character, and the dichotomy between Jennifer and She-Hulk is a conflict that makes sense. She mentions it here herself. So you could have had any ending. You could have had any ending you wanted because you've already told an interesting story. Just make sure you have some sort of completion of the She-Hulk Jennifer Walters ego issue. And guess what? They did in the end.
That's true. Yeah, the assistant in Eternals, Chris, was hilarious, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so Kevin's president. So she basically gets Kevin, the robot Kevin, to agree to make changes. And, she gets nix Bruce. He's not part of it. Don't make that guy Hulk. And she makes a bunch of changes right there, and he just sort of clips them. She complains about the fact that they have daddy issues in the MCU, which I guess I see that sort of. I don't know. I guess because Tony Stark had daddy issues, Thor had daddy issues. But every Disney movie has like something like a parent dies or something, right? Like it's a pretty common thread. Yeah. Especially in storytelling. But a lot of heroes are born from like extreme tragedy like that. And not just in the comic books, but like that it's an easy origin story to tell. Like, oh, Bruce Wayne lost his parents and became Batman. Superman lost his planet and became Superman. Like it's a very common storytelling trope.
Very true.
All right, so she changes the ending and she goes back. It's daytime. Cops are there. They get the guy. They're gonna sue him. He thinks he's about to be killed, but instead she basically just says she's just gonna serve him. That's it.
I know, but the final message is there, and this is, you got to say it. The final message here is that when she makes this choice, is that I'm better than you, or I'm bigger than you, or I will take the higher road than you would.
Right, and she's gonna send Doomcock to jail.
That's it. Yeah. Or Doomcock's gonna have to pay a bunch of money for whatever he did.
Yeah, and I am thoroughly surprised that there has not been an Intelligentsia clone yet made. I don't understand that.
I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
I've looked. I didn't see it.
You looked. I'm like, I looked.
For it. Remember she asked Daredevil to be there because something about smashing? I thought that was clever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Tatiana. I think she's a great actress. She's fun.
Yeah.
And there's large portions of this series that I thought was actually pretty entertaining and funny. The overall match thing is definitely heavy-handed, and there are parts of this show that honestly don't make a lot of sense. But in the grand scheme of MCU shows, this is certainly not the worst.
Well, I think it's the first one I've watched.
Oh. Okay.
So I will take your word for it. As far as like the streaming shows.
Right.
Yeah, this is the first one I've watched.
I liked Loki. I liked how sci-fi it was. WandaVision was okay, but it's only worth really one watch. And the second I'm not going to kill it here, but with the second that the reveal in WandaVision is made, it loses all of its teeth in an interesting plot. This was genuinely funny. Now, the entire episode was 7 minutes and 23 seconds. I'm saying the 26 minutes looks like. So,
is that how long it was?
That's
okay,
it.
cool.
26 minutes.
Hey, they had a longer one this time. That was good.
Yeah,
the finale was a little longer.
Officially, by the way, this clip is going to be 43 minutes, which is almost double with the length of the episode.
Done it. We've done it. We've made She-Hulk longer. Fantastic.
Listen, guys, hit that subscribe button on the way to the comment section. Let us know what you guys thought of the series finale of She-Hulk, because I thoroughly doubt there'll be a season 2. Because it's not just because it's of its performance. I also believe that Tatiana is like, oh, this world that I'm joining is just too much. And I don't think she's a great actress. I don't think she's going to want to deal with this anymore.
Well, and it all depends on what she gets offered. If she doesn't get some good offers and they come back with a little bit of cash in hand, maybe. Do people want a second season of She-Hulk? I mean, where could they go with the character that they haven't already gone? I don't know. They'd have to have a good idea, I think, to make it work, because honestly, the ego issue between, Jennifer and She-Hulk was really the most interesting part of the whole season.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's it. Let us know in the comment section what you guys thought. All right, hit the chat real quick. Make sure we're good. No,
I agree with Shane. That's all I know. Thanks, Chris.
What did it say? Oh, Chris. I think 3 of the writers are the real writers. Oh, that's clever.
That's cool. That's as it should be. You should. If you're gonna have a writer's room, and if you're gonna break the fourth wall, you might as well have the real people there.
Yeah, let's be real though. The show is clever. It's clever.
Yeah, I mean, it was cleverly made. Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
So yeah. I do think that there might be a little on both sides. I think there's a little bit too much bias coming through, because I mean, it's certainly not as bad as other MCU shows. So,
yeah, and like I said, I can't. It's my first one to really be able to judge. So,
okay, all right, let's rock and roll. What's next?
Let's skip the next one we have listed.
Oh, okay, Amanda Plummer.
Yeah, because I think we need to. I think we talked mostly about that character.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay.
I just don't know if there's anywhere else to go with that one.
Okay, so if that's the last of this section, that means we're going to the members section. Woo! Yeah! Come on down, boys and girls. Members section is real nice. It's warm because Shane keeps peeing in the pool.
Speaking of that, how long have we been on now? 3 hours? Okay, yeah.
4 hours.
No,
you can find
4 hours. Wow. We just did a 4-hour live stream.
Yeah, I'm not even tired, weirdly.
No, but I'm surprised I haven't taken a break yet.
Okay, well, so we're gonna go to the members section, and Shane's gonna take a pee-pee. Here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
If you want to go to the members section, we're gonna be talking about The Rock and the DC stuff, which that's super fascinating because we found out he was trying to play the Black Adam since WWE days. Moriarty in Star Trek Picard, and the Enterprise F in Star Trek Picard, and some news about how it was designed. So listen, we're gonna do that. Please do me a favor. hit the link in the description to come straight over there. Or you can go to popcast.co/join. We couldn't afford the M because we're poor. Or you can literally do nothing and just stay here when we end and wait for YouTube to redirect you. So if you don't come over, what you're telling me is you don't want to hear any more of us, because all you have to do is nothing to get on. Anyways, love you guys. If you are not subscribed, hit all those buttons too. And we will be back tomorrow. And we're going to the members section.
Yeah, we've got members clips tomorrow. We got Rings of Power. We got Andor.
Oh, yes. And so tomorrow for the members, we're also doing in the morning, we're doing Rings of Power and Andor. And we're going to be doing a DC clip too that I have yet to share with Shane. And that's going to be in the member section tomorrow. So there's a lot. We're going to go to the member section now and finish this out. And then tomorrow we're going to be back in the member section once again. So
yeah, and House of the Dragon also in the member section right now. So when we go, we're going to do our House of Dragon review.
So at the end of the show, we're going to switch over to House of the Dragon. And then we're going to do House of Dragon again on Monday morning. And then Quantum Leap and so on and so forth. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. I'll see you guys over there. Love you guys. Thank you for coming. If you're not coming over, that's cool too. We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us for this